Here we go.
You're listening to The Pete Shepard Show.
Well, good morning, everybody. A couple minutes late, but nevertheless, we are here. Thanks. It's the Pete Shepard Show on a fantastic, fabulous NFL football Friday, college football Friday, too, for that matter. How is everybody doing today? Wait till you hear why it took us a couple minutes longer to get on. Apparently, somebody out there at social media doesn't like us or whatever, but really amazing stuff. Great show coming up today. Thanks. It's the Pete Shepard Show here on the Coastal Sports Network. Thanks for following us on Twitter X, following me at PShep326. I got to check. I'm going to check my Facebook page. You might be able to follow me right now. Let me just double check. I'll get to that in a second. They apparently, somebody out there in Facebook police land, actually, no, I had to shut it down. So you can't follow me on Facebook today, but normally you can. I'm not sure about the other Facebook pages that run. I hopefully that you can. SR1029 The Game, SR1029thegame.com. We're powered by Ion TV, CSN Florida, Rumble, Spotify, LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube. Call or text 727-858-6650. The bizarre way to start the morning. We got so much to get to today. It's basically going to be like just an hour show. Then I got three great guests because we'll recap last night's thrilling Kansas City Chiefs win over the Baltimore Ravens. Came right down to the final seconds. I mean, the NFL is just awesome. What a great game last night. Lots to dissect and analyze there. Some overreaction by Lamar Jackson, I thought, and we'll have all the sound. We'll preview tonight's game between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Green Bay Packers. That game takes place in Brazil. And I can't stress this enough, people. The game is only on Peacock. They keep advertising like it's NBC, but it's Peacock, so you're going to have to pay the $5.99 if you don't have it, or you're not going to be able to watch that game, except unless you live in Philadelphia or the Milwaukee market. But great show lined up for you today. It's going to be 99.9% football, NFL, and college football. I have my Drake May jersey on. It actually says Jones on the back, but since he wears number 10, I'm just going to retape. I'm going to X out his name on the back. And that's not like I'm wearing a Mac Jones jersey out in public. I just wear the number 10 for the show. Media personality, my good friend Mike Adams, going to join me. Those of you in Boston might remember him doing a nighttime show on WEEI, and was great. Filled in a lot of day parts as well later on. So Mikey Adams is going to join me at 8:30. Funny guy. Mike Petraglia will join me live from Cincinnati to Queen City at 9:05 a.m. this morning. We'll break down Patriots and Bengals. And then at 9:30, my handicapper, Gabe Morency, the man, Sports Rage. He's awesome. He's going to join me for the first of many Friday visits here at 9:30 a.m. this morning, Eastern Standard Time, even though he's out in British Columbia. But he's been with Gabe for well over a decade, one of my great friends, and finally got to meet him in person at the Super Bowl back in January. We went on his television show, and we try to help each other out when we can. So all good stuff. 8 o'clock, I will have all my playoff predictions. And by that, I mean, I'm not going to go through every game. I'm just going to go through who I think the division winners are going to be, and AFC, NFC, and who the three wild card teams will be. And then I'm just going to say what the AFC and NFC championship, because you can't predict the play on wild card. So I'll tell you who my division winners will be, my wild card teams will be, AFC and NFC conference championship. I'll give you my predictions there. And then the Super Bowl prediction, which most of you know already. I've already picked Baltimore and Detroit. And I'll have my college football picks. I'll have my top 5. This took me 2 hours yesterday to go through everything that I wanted to do, because Fridays are very important. I just saw a piece on ESPN right before we came on the air this morning. Over $36 billion will be gambled on the NFL this season. $36 billion. So I want to make sure that I get most of it, or try to get well over 60% for it right. Off to a good start last night, and I'm counting it because I picked the Chiefs. I bought the Chiefs -3. It went down to -2.5 at kickoff last night. So I had the Chiefs. So I'm counting that as a win. Last week I went 4-1 in college for my pigskin picks. So I'm going to have my top 5 college picks coming up. at in the 8 o'clock hour when I run down every single game against the spread. And I'll be quick about it. It won't be, I'm going to go through every game. I don't just pick winners. I mean, I hopefully pick winners, but it's not just winners. It's against the spread because anybody can go pick winners. That stuff's boring to me unless you're picking against the spread. Then I'll have my best bet, which could either be a college or a pro game, and I'll have my underdog of the week, which is one game where I think the underdog can win outright, and so much more. So that's what's coming up today on the show. And with that, we say good morning to the feeling better Angel Martinez. Good morning, Angel. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Pete. And listen, Facebook, once again, because you clowns like to do whatever you like to do, and it gets me riled up.
Let me set it up. So I'm up this morning at 5:15. I go to post all the stuff that I always do on Twitter and Facebook. I do the same thing every day. I was coming up on the show, all the links, or as many as I can fit, and then I go to post it. It looked like it posted, and all of a sudden, I was in Twitter police hell. Not Twitter police, Facebook police hell. Your account's been suspended. This, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, I had to show a picture of which I checked it out with Peanut Gallery. And we went through and make sure it wasn't a scam. So I had to send them a picture of my driver's license and also do this, turn left, right, up, down, like I'm on a fucking FBI lineup, And they reinstated my account about 5 minutes later. Now, the only thing I ever post on Facebook, ever, most of you, I don't do politics. If anything, it's like condolences, thoughts, and prayers to people or family members that have passed away. Besides posting for the show, that's about all I do. I had some posts last week when I was in Gainesville at the Gators Miami game, but I don't even do a lot of those. So it's all about the show. And for some reason, either somebody out there, Angel, tried to sabotage us, which we'll find out because we have our sources too, or it's just some random thing going on. I don't know what's going on. But then when after they reinstated me, I went to post again what was going to happen on the show today, and they wouldn't let me because you got the same message I did for some reason that we are failing community standards or some bullshit like that on Facebook, which I have no idea. We didn't do anything. We did nothing wrong. We did nothing. We did nothing wrong. So they sent me this list, Angel, of spam stuff, I guess, that was in my... They claim they do this for our protection. That's what they claim they do. But anyway, you're having some issues also, with some of the media accounts as well, but through Facebook. Not anything else. Twitter's great. As far as I know, YouTube, everything else is fine. Rumble, Spotify. Just for some reason, Facebook decided to put the social media bracelets on us today, which I just don't understand. Apparently, I'm back, but they wouldn't let me post what's going on the show today. What say you?
Because Facebook and their infamous ways of just doing crap. But it's why I am not a Facebook fan. Those who know me, I've said it from the very beginning. I can't stand it. And the only reason why I actually created my Facebook account when I was in Philly, just because my friends were like, how are we going to stay in contact with you? I'm like, go to freaking Twitter. But I end up opening up regardless.
Well, it's good for the show. I mean, you're right. But it's we do it because we broadcast the show on it. It's another outlet for us.
Right, and that's about it. It's another outlet, but I'm getting because I'm looking at it. It wasn't up there before. Now all of a sudden I go to the SR 1029 on Facebook, and it tells you, do you want another review? So it didn't apparently, which there's nothing wrong with it. I had put in there for those who wanted to join us for the Pick'em Weekly game. You can go to sr1029.com, which is my website, and go there and link in. So it comes basically back and saying this goes under our rules. Listen. Go fuck yourself in your rule. How about that one? Because
but they never explain anything. They can't just.
No, they don't.
Everything is generic, and they claim they're doing it for our own. And it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely
because
I'm with you. I mean,
they put their stupid little muscles together. You never talk to a freaking human because God forbid, you actually talk to somebody. They're all behind the internet muscles, and they don't do anything else. And then if they realize, obviously, if you click on the freaking website, everything that's in there, including all of our information, everybody's freaking in there. And it doesn't make any damn sense, but whatever. I can't stand. This is why I listen to Facebook, and I don't care if you suspend me or not. I can't fucking stand your guts, period. You guys and the clown crap that you end up doing with politics anyways, I can't stand you. So if you're going to suspend me now, you can suspend me because you can go fuck yourself.
Very diplomatic, I agree. Wholeheartedly, 100%. All right, all right, enough about Facebook, social media. Hopefully, wherever you are, that I know that I see you on Twitter, so that's great. We got a bunch of followers, hundreds of people lining up for the show already, just on Twitter. And you monitor all the other stuff, Rumble, Spotify, Twitch, YouTube. So if you can't get it on my Facebook page today, there's plenty of other outlets that you can get and show it. For some reason, would not even let me list on Facebook anything that was coming up on the show today, apparently. And I was not going to do them justice by taking out the link of SR 102.9. If that's all it was, they can screw themselves. We'll deal with it. I'm hoping this is just some stupid, idiotic temporary glitch, but nevertheless. All right, Angel, if I may impose upon you on my Twitter page.
Hold on. Here's one of their BS excuses. What we'll do, we'll update you within a few days. And see, this is where they use a stupid little bot freaking people that work there.
Yeah.
Your case will be looked at again by our technology or reviewer. We'll use additional info you gave us to improve our systems. Okay, whatever.
Well, I got the same message. Then I had to do the FBI mugshot. Turn left, turn right on my phone, look up, look down, and they had to send them a picture of my ID, which I really didn't want to do until we did the investigation. And then they put the account back up in 5 minutes. So maybe, did they ask you for your identification for some way, shape, or form?
It sure didn't. The only thing they didn't like is because I put down there that the post that I put that a question about is week one, just about here. If you'd like to join our weekly Pigskin Pick'em, go to it's the website SR1029 the game, and that's why they took. And then he put.
I don't understand that. I post we put like this, for instance, when Bill Sparrows comes on, I always have a connection to bookies.com. I have a connection to where everybody works. If they have a web page, I always post this. That should not be an issue at all. I don't know what their problem is, Angel. If somebody's trying to sabotage us and temporarily got away with it, which wouldn't surprise me at all.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. But that's all right. All right. Let's bitching and moaning about it. That is not going to bring it back today, probably. But I'm sure by next Monday it'll be fine. It's a pain in the ass. But if you wouldn't mind scrolling down, Angel, let's start with last night's game. What an unbelievable game. Glad they got it in because I was a little worried at first with the weather being delayed 20 minutes. It started at 8:40 instead of 8:20. We can scroll down to Adam Schefter. It says, best reality TV there is, and play that video of how the game ended last night. The Chiefs hang on to win 27-20, an outstanding game. We'll have all the reaction and sound for you, but here is this is the last play of the game. And mini controversy in this game. I'll let you see it first, and then we'll talk about it.
Chiefs rush 4. Lamar trying to make magic happen. Throw it end zone. Likely 2 feet down. Yes! Touchdown! What a play! Isaiah Likely!
That was it. It didn't show.
All right, there you have it again. Thanks to last night, the NBC, Mike Tirico with the call. Wow. So because of the receivers, the toe, there it is. There it is. Huge capacity crowd last night, and rightly so. I'm sorry, it was the right call, though. If his shoe size is half a stride, half an inch less, I don't know what shoe size. Say he's a 10. If he's a 9.5, it's a touchdown, but he's a 10. So guess what? And as soon as I saw it, when the play happened live, I said, geez, one foot might be out of bounds. Now, that was much closer than I thought, but nevertheless, it is. A lot of people upset right there because that screwed. The total was 47, and the Chiefs were favored at kickoff by 2.5. So I had the parlay last night, 1/2, the other one pushed. So I'll take half a win as opposed to no win any day of the week and twice on Sunday, or in this case, twice on Thursday. But I'm sure a lot of people had the over, so the over doesn't hit. It pushed as it went down to 47 last night, from 48.5 to 47 by kickoff. And then people who had the Ravens either at +3 or +3.5, or even at +2.5, They feel like they got screwed because of the play screwed them. But that's the way it is. Chiefs win, they cover, and the total pushes officially. So there you have it. That is, but man, what a game it was. Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson went at it. Patrick was 20 of 28, 291 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Lamar Jackson was 26 of 41, 273 yards, a touchdown. He also ran for 122 yards. He was brilliant last night. And you can see why these two teams are, obviously among the best in the NFL. But Angel, if we could go to totals.
Hang on for 1 second. So for those who are watching it, so they can see exactly why it ended up coming back. So the final drive, ESPN, where you guys can end up seeing
NBC.
Yeah, but it's from the ESPN.com website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a great shot. And you got the other one that the throw. Whoever had one on the side of him, good play.
Yeah, go hit out of bounds, and Hockley Jr. made the right call. Didn't take long, which I liked. It wasn't some big 5-minute review. It was like a 10-second review.
Yep.
And rightly so. So capacity crowd last night, of course, Taylor Swift shots all night long, but not a lot of them. There was a lot less than I thought there'd be. And Monsieur Hockley didn't wait long and likely landed with his toe on the end line. The receiver did. Sean Hockley made the right call there, and the Chiefs hang on to win 27-20. It was an outstanding game. Both quarterbacks were brilliant. There's some great runs in the game, some great catches. Rice was outstanding. Rashee Rice for the Chiefs, absolutely outstanding for him. He had 103 yards on 7 catches. Likely had 111 yards on 9 catches. I mean, it was a great ball game. It looked like it was going to be a shootout from the first few minutes of the first quarter, but I kind of expected that, and then the defenses kind of took over a little bit. I remember, and too many people were hopping on the fact that the Chiefs lost last year in the opener to Detroit, but Chris Jones didn't play in that game last year, and a couple other guys. I don't think Kelsey played in that game last year either in the opening game, if I remember correctly. But that was this might be next hour my AFC Championship prediction. Might be. But certainly you know who I think is going to the Super Bowl. I already told you Baltimore, Detroit. But all my picks coming up at 8 o'clock. All right, Angel, if we could go to Total Sports Prep in this one. And let's go down. Let's see. Isaiah Likely. Let's go down to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Isaiah Likely on the final play, the final drive, and his big performance in the game.
Where is that under the?
No, it's on the NFL Thursday night on Total Sports Prep, 5th cut down. Isaiah Likely on the final play.
Bring it all the way up.
Yep, you need to scroll down to the NFL highlights. All the stuff we have.
Let's see, Coach Harbaugh.
It's the 5th cut down. KC 27, Baltimore 20. 5th cut down. Isaiah Likely on the final play. His toe ended up on the goal, back of the end zone, on the goal line. See it?
Unless I got to go further down, but as soon as it says the NFL, so I got Thursday, Baltimore, KC.
Yeah, that's it. It's the 5th cut down. Isaiah Likely on the final play, the final drive.
See, the 5th cut down for me is Chris Jones told us at training camp tour.
No. It's the NFL. It says Thursday. You see, it says KC 27, Baltimore 20.
Nope.
On the NFL. You got to scroll all the way down. You're looking at solid gold probably. You don't want that. Not to
Correct.
go behind the scenes stuff. You got to scroll all the way down to NFL. Well, not all the way down. It's right after the top 10 list, and then it says NFL, KC 27, Baltimore 20, and that's the fifth cut down in that package.
All right, no, hold on. Wonder if this is.
You see the cut though, Isaiah Likely on the final play.
Yeah, but I think the one. Okay, the reason why we're not on the same one here, because let me exit out, come back in just in case, because that might have been yesterday's one. Let me see if the one from today pulled in. Give me a second. That explains why we're looking at two different freaking things. Nope. See, the one that you forwarded to me, it shows me Thursday 9/5. You sent it. Oh, hold on.
I sent you to. I sent you.
It just popped in. That's what
Okay.
I mean.
Let's take a break and come back and we'll figure this out.
There we go. Isaiah Likely passing.
No, Isaiah Likely.
Final play.
Yes.
Yep. There we go.
It looks like on the replays that maybe the foot was out. What's your perspective on whether that was a touchdown or not?
I mean, at this point, it's just you got to live with the call. I mean, you got to look on, obviously watch the film, see what we could do better to not put ourselves in a situation where, to leave in the ref's hands to be able to call that call and call the game. So, what I say is just watch the film, see what we can improve on, and go into next week.
So we also saw you go down in the corner. You looked pretty hurt on the left side. What happened, and what was the sequence that led you back on the field for that final play?
It was just a high ball. It was just us or nobody kind of pass from L. I tried to go make a play. Got pushed by the DB, landed kind of hard, and then got up, shook a little bit, and then adrenaline running. I mean, it's the last play of the game. Would you want to be out the game?
What do you guys take away from that final drive?
Really just keep going. I mean, just major in the minor details to be able to execute and be able to put that last touchdown on the board. I mean, and not leave it into ref's hands, play the game as easy as possible the first through third quarters. So when we get to those situations, we could just go in victory formation, knee and go home.
Your long touchdown that you scored, can you just break down that play? And did you just see that defender coming right before the goal line in your periphery, or that juke? Take me through the juke.
Yeah, I mean, when I caught it, I just seen 32 really take a bad angle, so I tried to get to the sideline. Zay, little twin, made a great block. And I felt like, every time he makes a good block, I always got to go for 6. And then I seen 6 on my peripheral. So I just, that close to the goal line, he thinks like, usually going to dive or something. So I just seen how good his breaks was and stopped.
You guys went. This is a 2-time defending Super Bowl champions, and in their place, you almost went toe to toe with them. What would you take away from a competitive game like that against this team?
I'd say this is probably the worst game we're going to play all year. So if this is their best that they got, good luck in the postseason.
Lamar Jackson, come on. I'll comment on that in a second more. Let's go the next cut right after that. Because the play before that, it looked like he had Zay Flowers wide open, but there was some miscommunication there. Lamar Jackson talks about the second to last play of the game.
Credit.
It's the one right underneath the cut you just played. Or, I'm sorry, 2 cuts.
Hang on. You said 2 cuts?
It says Lamar Jackson still thinks Likely's catch in the end zone was a good touchdown.
Okay.
I thought it was a touchdown. Still think it's a touchdown.
Lamar also 12 targets for Isaiah. Just what goes in that connection, and how did you kind of see him, aside from the last play, really pay off your faith in him?
Man, he was just open. I seen. I don't want to get it wrong, but it looked like 32 and 20 was like turning to like pursue him when he realized where the ball was going. So I threw it so he can like make a play on it. Just so I don't throw it like a line job. They hit him in the face mask and they turn around and pick the ball. So I gave him the ball so he can jump a little bit. But I thought he did a great job, acrobatic catch, and I believe it was 2 feet in. I'm gonna stand on that.
Lamar, the press box is in the cloud, so it's hard to see what's going on there. The play before to Flowers, did that ball get tipped out of your hand, or was that just misfire?
No, actually, it was, I went scramble. I seen Chris Jones was on Justice Hill. I was trying to help Justice out, and I tried to get out of the pocket, and I seen Bateman, like, flying across, so I'm thinking Bateman gonna stop. And as I'm throwing the ball, I see Zay flying across. I'm like, that wasn't intended for Zay Flowers. So, yeah, I was teed off about that because I'm like, if I would have held on to it a little bit more, I would have just fired it to Zay for a touchdown.
All right, but Lamar Jackson, that's the best they got. Then wait till we meet him again in the playoffs. I mean, what is this shit? Come on, man. Game 1. And if that's the best they got, well, what do you think? You're the only team that's going to get better, even though I picked you to go to the Super Bowl. I mean, it's so arrogant and ignorant. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Sorry, it's the rule. I know some of you don't want to know about rules and regulations. This goddamn toe was on the goal line. It's out of bounds. Sorry, it happens. Case closed. You had a great game, Lamar. You don't have to. I mean, do you really think? I think you get sacked, 3 or 4 times in the game. You ran well, throwing the ball and overall. But that pass to Zay Flowers, whatever excuse you guys want to make, I mean, that should have been made. He was wide open. Wide open. You got to make that throw, Lamar Jackson. You got to make that throw. That's the difference between getting home field advantage or maybe in a playoff game going to the Super Bowl. So you get better. Make that throw. Find a way to make that happen. Instead, you say, if that's the best they are, then they're going to be in trouble come playoff time. What is that? Come on. It's just, grow up with that nonsense. It's ridiculous. All right, let's take a quick break, Angel. We'll come back and regroup, and we'll have more sound coming up. Another game tonight, by the way, Green Bay versus Philadelphia in Brazil. We will highlight that for you and have some preview sound as well and some video also as the Pete Shepard Show continues on a fabulous Football Friday here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jimmy the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our 2nd location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu.
Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it Gardenia. It's pronounced Jardin there.
Ion Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, iontp.com. Ion Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Ion Tampa Bay.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces. just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad, your lunch will be ready in just a minute.
Hey, honey, why don't you take a minute?
When you help care for a loved one, you give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable. But it's just as important that you take some time for yourself. At AARP, we can help with information and useful tips on how you can maintain a healthy life balance, care for your own physical and mental well-being, and manage the challenges of caring for a loved one. Because the better care you take of yourself, the better care you can provide for your loved one.
Thanks, Dad.
Thank you.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
All right, class. Let's hear what everyone did this weekend. Jill?
Well, I raised my older sister to a big oak tree. It was at least 100 years old. My mom said I must have set a record or something. And then we went down by a stream and perched up on this huge rock and saw all of these little minnows swimming around way below us. And then I rescued my little brother from an evil slug king who was guarding him at the bush fortress. And my sister and I brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told stories until it got dark. And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Awesome. Where were you, Jill?
Yeah. We went to the forest. It's not that far away. Anyone want to come this weekend?
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week and find the fun, adventurous you. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Shepherd Show.
Speaking of losses, I'm expecting a lot of them this year from my New England Patriots. I'm going to make a final prediction of 4-13. I'll go 4-13. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they get to 5 or 6. Again, I just want to see progression for my team down the stretch. Thanks for checking us out here on the Pete Shepherd Show. I've been trying to figure it out on Facebook today for some reason. Either there's an issue on Facebook today, but if you're watching or listening to the show right now, obviously you're not on Facebook, so we thank you. But if you're normally on Facebook, I'm sure that the problem will be corrected by Monday. A lot of stupid crap going on, but that's okay. Angel, I'm going to brag about you in a second too. Some good stuff professionally for you that I want you to talk about. Before we get back into football, once again,
hang on. Before you get into something else, because see, someone decided to screw around. All right, now I'm not going to name the company that I use, but this is from someone else that uses the same thing that I end up using, and it says, "I know some people are having issues." This is according to this is their post in retaliation of Facebook. I know some people are having issues, and it seems to be on Facebook side. Does this happen for you on both profile and page to create an activity directly under a Facebook page, not through the company that is used, to see if it works? If it doesn't, it's definitely an issue with Facebook. You'll need to contact their support. Now, I'm not going to read the response that the person put back there because you guys thought. First of all, let me say something else too. I will always speak my mind. If you're easily butthurt or offended, because I know a lot of folks that watch on LinkedIn and everything else is supposed to be some professional. If you're easily butthurt, this is not the platform for you, because here we like to have fun with everybody. But the response that the person put down there, it's a little probably more than I would probably say vocally out there as far as in the stratosphere of stuff. But either this is somebody that either hacked into Facebook's crap, or Facebook all of a sudden, with all their new stupid guidelines, decided that, oh, now it's time to take down everybody from a particular platform. So once again, this is why I call him Mark Zuckerberg, because he doesn't get anything straight, but as long as you pay him $2.5 billion, you can get whatever you want to.
I ain't paying them shit. I mean, they're the ones that let all these spam and idiot stuff go on over there. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll figure it out, Angel. We'll figure it out. In the end, we'll come out on top. I'm not too worried about it. It sucks for today on a Friday that we can't get our Facebook stuff up yet, but because we have such a big stuff. We got all other video platforms that.
No, we do, but the thing is, just it's how they try to shut your voice down. That's what cracks me up. And it's not like we don't say anything political around here. We don't get
the problem is we don't get an explanation. They just generic words from somebody. There's no
it's just one bot after another, which is ridiculous.
Well, all right. There's some more media news going on from Beasley up in Boston. They've done it again and fired more people. So what's happened is I'm reading off of Boston Radio Watch some additional details around production support staff. This is over at 98.5, the Sports Hub. Production support staff changes at the Hub. Longtime morning show executive producer Dan O'Brien, he's been there forever. He was fired yesterday. The job was then offered to producer Mike Lockhart. He said, F you. Passed on it and quit. The opening will now be filled by former Rock 92.9 jock PD Adam 12 Chapman. So there you have more musical chairs going on at 98.5 the Sports Hub in Boston. So there's your little media update. As I said, you expect more all over the country from most radio groups. They're all going bankrupt on the whole, and they're all in bankruptcy court. A lot of them, and their hands are tied as far as trying to hire new people or anything like that. You're not going to see a lot of it while these radio companies are tied up in bankruptcy court. All right, before we get back to football, Angel, and put a smile on your face and get ready for some Eagles and Green Bay preview sound for tonight in Brazil. It was just an awesome game last night. I mean, the NFL, for some of its, that was a tremendous opening game last night. I'm sure it's going to do record numbers because especially coming right down to the final two plays. It was fantastic. But you, my friend, you got some. Let's get you back in a happy place. Wait, hang on a second. I need you. I need you back in a happy place. There you are. Smile. So you got some great news yesterday. Quite the honor bestowed on you, from my understanding. So tell everybody what's going on with you coming up this weekend.
Yes, that's if I don't get banned from there as well, because I spoke freely this morning. But no, quite the honor. Got a call from the Orlando Predators, which was really nice. Sean Knapp, just a freaking great human being. Let me know that there's a soccer match coming up here at Camping World on Saturday, September 7th. It is Club America versus Atlético Nacional, which is the group that's coming out of Mexico. They're both out of Mexico, but one plays here directly in America, and that's why they say it, Club America. But I got the nod, and they asked me if I wanted to be the PA announcer because of my bilingual language, which every once in a while it comes in handy. If I'm looking for a job at McDonald's and Burger King, especially, it's even better. But I got the nod to be the PA announcer. 10,000 tickets already sold. It would probably be the largest crowd on hand that I've ever made any kind of announcements in front of, including 9 broadcasts that it will go across 7 major national Spanish networks and 2 here in America. So I'm pumped. I'm scared, and I'm hoping that my stomach will cooperate with me.
And it's going to be at the Bounce House, right?
Yep, Camping World. That's where it's going to end up being. So it's going to be a good time. 7:00. You also get a buy one get one free ticket that you guys can look on Twitter, since they took it away from Facebook. But you'll go on Twitter, and you guys will see the link for Ticketmaster and also the password, so you guys can get a buy one get one free ticket.
Do me a favor, go to the Bounce House, try and find a local vendor. Bring me back one of those fake UCF, we think we won the national championship T-shirts. That's got to be worth some money.
It's got to be.
Fine institution, though.
Yeah.
Even though Danny White didn't want to do a home and home with Florida back in the day. Danny White, not the quarterback Danny White, the former athletic director over there, Danny White. But anyway, it's a good school. They have great fans at UCF. Don't get me wrong. Great fans. That is a tough place to play. The Gators are going to have to go there, too, coming up in a little bit. We shall see. All right. Oh, and the other thing, too. So, Angel, before we get back to some preview stuff here for tonight's game, and then at 8 o'clock, I'm going to go through all my pigskin picks. We'll get your opinion, too, Angel, as well. But I have everything written down here of what my pigskin picks. I'm going to go first. I'm going to give you who I think is going to win the AFC and the NFC, all the divisions. Just going to go division winners, and then I have 3 playoff teams for each conference that I have chosen. Again, it's just my opinion. It's subjective. And I have the conference championship in my Super Bowl pick, and then I'll go through a pick against the spread for every single NFL game. Then I have 5 college games that I have isolated for starting tonight and going through Saturday. And that will also include a best bet and an underdog of the week as well. And the best bet could be either college or pro, or it could be either college or pro. It doesn't really matter. I will tell you that. Well, no, I'll save it for you. So anyway, that's good. That's all coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Then my friend Mikey Adams, great media personality, got his own podcast, funny guy. You're going to love him at 8:30. Those of you in New England know who he is. At 9 o'clock, Mike Petraglia live from the Queen City in Cincinnati. We'll break down Patriots and Bengals to see what's up with Jamar Chase, who wandered out. He sashayed out to the practice field yesterday after the show. And then Gabe Morency, one of the great handicappers and entertainers in the country or around the world, because he's in Canada. Huge Buffalo Bills fan, huge University of Michigan fan, but he does not do heart over head. He is very rational about it, and I can't wait to hear his thoughts coming up about some of these big games. What a great week. Another great week. If they're anything like last night, it's going to be phenomenal NFL Sunday. So I'll give you my thoughts. Week 1's tough to predict, but we'll see. But, Angel, if you were doing soccer play-by-play, can you do in Spanish, me score? And I know that Lionel Messi is not playing in this particular match, but can you do play-by-play call of Lionel Messi passing me a ball and then I score a goal?
Right. Let me put Gas Pump's guy coming up there because maybe Gas Pump guy's having the same issue as all of us, some of us are. As he says, "Good morning, fellas. Just checking in already, dealing with some bull crap this morning." Now, he hopes I feel better, but no, thanks, Gas Pump guy. A little bit. My stomach so far is cooperating this morning, so a little bit. But let's see. So Lionel Messi.
Lionel Messi passes it to me, and I break in and score.
All right. Aquí estamos en la temporada de hoy en el Camping World Stadium, Orlando, Florida. Estamos 96 de grados, está tan caliente que nadie puede coger su camisa y hacerle así para que salga toda la agua. Pero aquí estamos, Lionel Messi viene para atrás ahí en el match y ahí vamos con la bola. Y ahora la bola tiene con Lionel Messi. Messi ahí no. Messi adelante. Messi pasa la bola. Messi está con Pete Shepard. Pete Shepard está mirando. Mira, atrás la bola. ¡Gol! Pete Shepard. De Lionel Messi. Y ahí estamos 1-0 en el Camping World Series. There you go.
If I could, I'd go down on my knees and do that, but then I wouldn't be able to get back up and wouldn't be able to. But
that'd be 2 of us.
Wow, I scored! What an assist from Messi! See, I told him before the match, jump on my back. I'll carry you.
I tell you what, a guy, he's gotten so much, and God bless, because he's gotten a lot of love still from people here in the Florida region.
He should.
Yeah, I'm wondering how much time he's going to have left, because I know for the injuries are starting to kind of creep up on him. So I thought maybe he should take off just this upcoming maybe season here, MLS season in America, to kind of heal up. But he doesn't believe in that. He's just going to heal and keep going forward.
There'd be a lot of upset people in South Florida if he didn't decide to play this year. All right, Angel, if we could scroll down just one to Aaron Rodgers. Here's one video I have. Aaron Rodgers on facing Leonard Floyd again on coming up on Monday night. when the Jets were in San Francisco.
Let me go back up. Are you talking about on Total Sports?
I'm sorry. No, on my bad. On my Facebook. On my Twitter page.
Okay.
It's the first one, the first story down underneath the show. Then we'll get back to Total Sports Prep. It's Aaron Rodgers on facing Leonard Floyd again on Monday night.
Like some comments during the game.
I've always enjoyed some side conversation with Leonard over the years. He's a great player. Played against him on a couple different teams now. I hope he doesn't in any way feel responsible for that at all. He's a stand-up guy. I've worked out with him in the off seasons. I teased him because a few years ago when he was at the Rams, I got him to buy on a pump fake and kind of snuck in the end zone, which never happened again. The next time we ran that, I pump faked. He ran right in my chest. So he's a great player. Obviously, he's played at a high level for a long time, and I'll enjoy dapping him up for the game.
Like some comments.
All right, Aaron Rodgers. Again, game is on Peacock. That's coming up on Monday night on ESPN. The Jets at San Francisco. Tonight, though, Angel, Green Bay against your Philadelphia Eagles in Brazil. Let's play as much of this preview sound as possible because in the 8 o'clock hour, we are going to be jammed up. No Red Sox report today because they did not play yesterday. They did a well-deserved day off. But it'll be all NFL in the 8 o'clock hour. All right, let's just start with Green Bay head coach Matt LaFleur and running back Marshawn Lloyd's status, his hamstring injury.
How's Marshawn looking? I know ups with him.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll give him the week to watch him as he progresses. Certainly we're going to be smart with him, and he was limited today, but he's doing more and more, and we'll see where he's at.
Almost the same thing as a kicker. How do you have full trust in a guy who didn't get to go through a whole bunch of situations with you? Or did all the OTAs. Is that enough to some extent in this limited training camp?
Yeah, I think as long as we're smart about what we're asking him to do, I mean, certainly we don't want to give him something that he's never done before. I think that's unfair to the player. I think you always got to, teach him, put him through it, and then have that confidence that he can go execute that in the game. So we will be smart with him, but we certainly won't give him anything that he's never done before.
All right, that's from the Packers webpage. If we could go down a couple of cuts, Angel, Matt LaFleur again told us on the training camp tour the learning process he developed with quarterback Jordan Love last year. This is from Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Total learning process. Every moment seemed to be like we were both learning together on the fly. And, I think in the past, especially when you have veteran players, a veteran quarterback, a lot of times you're calling plays and you might give them 2 plays and then, hey, which one do you feel better about? And Jordan wasn't there yet. And I still found myself doing that at times, asking him. And I could tell after a while, it was just like, I like what you like, and that really helped us. And I think we figured it out along the way, just being decisive for him, not giving him too much to think about. And ultimately, he went out there and did it. And it was a credit to the guys around him. I thought there was a lot of learning that obviously took place, a lot of tough learning lessons when you're sitting at 3-6. That's not fun. But I think in the long run, we are better for going through some adversity and coming out the other side of that.
All right, thanks again anyway to Sirius XM NFL Radio. Meanwhile, a couple cuts down. Let's do all this Philadelphia preview sound, Angel, just for you. Here's offensive coordinator for the Eagles, Kellen Moore, on Jahan Dotson.
First time speaking to you since the Dotson trade. How did that change things for you when you had a contributor at that point in the summer?
Yeah, obviously, I think everyone who went through the draft process saw the great talent that he was, and we were really, really excited about that opportunity. He'll be a great piece to our offensive process, and excited to let him kind of build that role as we go. Obviously, when you come in, during the season, I think you let him just keep growing, and we'll keep finding where that role presents itself. But he'll be certainly a nice aspect of this thing, and he'll be heavily involved.
All right, next cut down. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport talks about Saquon Barkley. Impressive, most impressive.
That was pretty real. I mean, Nick Sirianni, when he gets kind of excited about things, can really spit some truths. And to me, that seemed legit. I mean, and when I was at Eagles practice during training camp, there was a run Saquon had, just a regular, casual practice run where he flew by me. I'm standing on the sideline kind of chit-chatting with someone, someone paying attention. flew by me so fast, I had to be like, who was that? And, we spent a lot of time this offseason talking about Saquon Barkley and how much money he made and the contract and leaving the Giants and the revenge and all that. It's almost like how good of a football player he is, how talented he is, kind of got lost. And the Eagles will have a little bit of a reworked offensive line. Obviously, no Jason Kelce, so there's certainly some questions to answer there. But for the first time in front of all of us, getting to see Saquon Barkley in this offense with what should be an excellent offensive line is going to be really fascinating. They paid a lot for him. The early returns are extremely, extremely positive, and I know this. Saquon himself is very much looking forward to showing all of us, reminding all of us just how very good he is.
It really would be hysterical if he won the MVP. Not hysterical because I think he's going to have a hell of a season. I really do. You talk about one player. There's a couple players are going to have a massive chip on their shoulders this year. Saquon Barkley is at the top of the list, as is Trevor Lawrence, and that's why I hope both stay reasonably healthy throughout the year. Next cut down. Speaking, there was Ian Rappaport there about Saquon impressing Nick Sirianni. Let's hear from the head coach Nick Sirianni on Saquon Barkley.
How eager are you for that?
Yeah. I mean, he made a run at practice yesterday, and I just remember I was wearing sunglasses. It was sunny out, just kind of taking my sunglasses off and looking at a couple coaches. I'm like, all right, this is awesome. That we got him here, not only for the play that he brings to the field and the cut that he made yesterday at practice, but also his leadership and the person that we have. And so, it's. I think you're so excited as a coach for everything. Obviously, you asked me about Saquon. I'm super excited for him. We're up here. We're in the team meeting today, and the words that came out of my mouth. Hey, and we got to be ready Friday night. And wow, what an unbelievable to say. Hey, we got a game Friday night. That gives me goosebumps to think about that. Friday night football is what we all first. Those were my favorite players growing up. Because my dad was a coach, were the high school football players that played on Friday night. Was John Briggs, was my brother Jay Sirianni, right? Mike Sirianni, Pete Conley. Those were my favorite.
Cool. All right. Finally, Ange, before we go to break, let's hear from the last cut, Saquon Barkley himself from Sirius XM NFL Radio.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
That one restarted. Give me a second. Sorry, guys, for the echo. It restarted. Holy molies.
Is that right?
Saquon Barkley.
Tell me about the rivalry that this team has with your former team from the Giants' perspective when you were there, whether you've gotten any sense of it from this perspective, because that fans, they're going to be looking at it.
Yeah, I think it definitely added to it, me coming over here for sure. I know, just speaking freely, when I was in New York, I couldn't stand Philly. I couldn't stand. I'm being. I had this conversation with guys in the locker room. I couldn't stand you guys at one point. But it's funny now, a year later, how close I am with them and how the city and the culture here of the team and the fans. I'm embracing it. One thing that I have learned though is, it's the Giants. It's a big one, but I guess we hate Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm learning a little more. I think, we were in practice the other day, and I guess someone had a Dallas jersey on, and all you hear is Dallas suck, Dallas suck. So, and I've never, I hate to say this, I have never beaten Dallas in New York. So, probably going to switch. I think people probably would think my hate and, would be a little more toward Giants, but I'm looking forward to that game and finally getting hopefully 2 wins. And if it got to be 3, be 3.
Yeah.
That's so. Come on, Angel. Tell me it didn't move for you. I mean, you got to be excited about tonight's game and the excitement for the Eagles. And look, certainly how their last 6 games compared to Green Bay's last 6 games, which were tremendous, but that was last year. Now we're moving on. I think Saquon Barkley is going to make a huge difference for you guys this year. I really do. I think he's going to have a tremendous season. And but I'll have all my picks coming up. But you got to be jacked and pumped for tonight. It's Friday night. You don't have anything to do tonight, right? Are you working tonight on the side or doing anything? Anything on? or you're gonna be able to watch a game and relax?
No, I'm watching a game, and then I got to do my study review for the game tomorrow night for the match. But no, are you kidding me? I'm watching this freaking game tonight. I'm excited about Saquon Barkley. He will find out. Like because Giants fan, it's different when you're obviously with a different team. You have no idea. Just like the same way if you didn't play with the Patriots and there's a particular team like the Bills, for example, you'll hear like the chants, but it's different when it's Dallas week. It's the only 2 games of the season that you will hear any Philly person talk about. It's Dallas week, whether it's in Philly, whether it's in Dallas. Yeah. But he will find out when the chants come out. Because even down here at Tampa Joe's, when we play Dallas, when the Eagles play Dallas, I say we like I belong to the team. Yeah. But when the team plays Dallas, it's the same way. You'll hear the chants, Dallas sucks, and it goes on until the end of the game. Even if the Eagles lose, they still say Dallas sucks.
I mean, I've been at venues and it's kind of toned down a little bit. But in New England, if the chant "Yankee sucks" would come out, you could be shopping at a grocery store and a "Yankee sucks" cheer would turn out. It got so ridiculous. At the time. It would happen at hockey games, basketball. Didn't matter. Stuck in traffic. Yeah, Yankees suck. It really got old, especially. It got old when we weren't beating them until 2004. Then it was somewhat justified, but until then, the Yankees suck. They would write parodies and songs about it, and talk about Chuck Knobloch back in the day. Not being able to throw from second to first base. He had the yips a couple times, but the Yankees always still beat the Red Sox until 2004. Then the Red Sox have kind of had their number a little bit since then, but we digress. The Yankees will be in the playoffs this year. The Red Sox will not. All right, quick break. When we come back, all pigskin picks and my NFL predictions and college football stuff. Predictions coming your way. College football, part of my pigskin picks, best bets, and underdogs of the week. All that stuff. Coming up next here on the Pete Shepherd Show on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jimmy the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our 2nd location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, or Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu. Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it gardenia. It's pronounced Jardiniere.
To some people, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much. But that's not necessarily true. By 6 months, they're combining vowels and consonants. By 9 months, they're trying out different kinds of sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on some meaning. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Early screening and intervention can make a lifetime of difference and unlock a world of possibilities. Take the first step at autismspeaks.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
The following is made possible by Dad.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling all over it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
Why do you have to be careful when it's raining cats and dogs? Because you might step in a poodle.
And kids that spend more time with their dads grow up to be smarter, more successful.
Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding.
And with any luck, funnier adults.
Why didn't the skeleton go to the dance? Because he didn't have anybody to go with.
Dad jokes rule. So take a moment to make a moment and give your kid a laugh. It's as easy as going to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
That's really funny.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. No, you won't. Because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
You want the best in sports and entertainment? You got it. Now, back to the Pete Shepherd Show.
Welcome back. It's hour number 2 of the Pete Shepherd Show. Week 1 of the NFL is underway. What a win last night by the Kansas City Chiefs. Wow. Came right down to the wire, but the Chiefs win 27-20. Some of you are pissed because you didn't hit the over. It pushed at 47. Maybe some of you got the under early when it was 48.5, but the total went to 47, and then the line went from 3 down to 2.5 right before kickoff. So I was all over that, which was good. Anywho, great stuff. Great opening week. We spent a lot of the first hour talking about it. We are having there's some issues going on, I guess, with a lot of people on Facebook today, including us. So we apologize. We'll get it straightened out, and we should be back up on Facebook by Monday. But we have more football tonight. Cannot stress enough, if you don't have Peacock and you don't live in Philadelphia or Milwaukee area, you ain't seeing the game. You got to get Peacock to watch the game tonight. $5.99 a month. Not just that game either. There's a lot of games because they're affiliated with NBC that are going to be showing a lot of college football games. So it's not right. I get it. It's but it is what it is. This is where the NFL is. There's pay-per-view event. You're going to have to use Netflix, Peacock, and Amazon this year if you want to see some games. There's college football tonight. A couple of really good games as well. We'll get to that. Also, BYU, SMU tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN2. Duke and Northwestern at 9 on FS1. Those are the big ones. Also, Western Illinois is at Indiana. Those are 3 games that are going on tonight. So, again, bottom of the hour, Mikey Adams is going to join me, great media personality, 9:05 a.m. live from the Queen City in Cincinnati. Mike Petraglia will join me. We'll break down more of the Patriots and the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm sure a lot of people, you might think that I would have Cincinnati Bengals as my best bet this week. You'll have to find out in a couple of minutes here. And also, great handicapper, Gabe Morency at 9:30. You know, anybody who's followed me over the years know Gabe is with me now over a decade, every Friday at around at 9:30. And usually he can do it. He's a great sport, even though he's out in the western part of Canada out there and does a great job. I mean, he does a million platforms, but Gabe is one of my favorite people in the media. He's a great handicapper. And I know he had a big fantasy football party going on yesterday as well. But all right, Angel. And I'll get your thoughts too. When we do the pigskin picks coming up in a couple of minutes, I'm going to give my predictions first in the NFL for division winners and stuff. Do we have some special NFL music? Normally, last year I was able to play off my Stream Deck thing that I have over here, but I can't do it this year. Not yet, anyway.
Oh, yeah?
So, we figured that out. But when the time comes, if we get some like special NFL, music. So when I do my pigskin picks.
Well, sir, your wish is granted because if you actually look under music.
Oh, yes. Okay. I want to play. I don't want to play. Oh, there it is. Okay. Excellent. It'll sound something like this. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. That's perfect. So we'll do that. That'll be coming up in a second. But before we do that, I just want to go through, and I'll get your thoughts too as well. Everything is written down right here, right there. I have it all written down. So without further ado, let me go through what I think. Actually, you know what? Let me just test this, Angel. I want to make sure that you can hear me and the music. I don't want the music drowning me out. Nope. Otherwise, you're going to have control. You're going to have to control the volume from over there. So how does this sound? This sounding good? Can you hear me over the music? I don't want to be drowned out.
Nope, I can hear you.
Okay. All right. Well, more of the music coming up. When I do the pigskin picks, it's coming up in a minute. All right. Let's start with my predictions in the AFC. My AFC East champion is going to be the Miami Dolphins. My AFC North champion is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. My AFC South champion is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars in a very close race. And my AFC West champion will indeed be the Kansas City Chiefs. My 3 wildcard teams for the AFC this year, the Buffalo Bills, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Houston Texans. Those are my 3 wildcard teams. My AFC, now I'm not going to go through playoff scenarios because who knows, 1 through 7, who gets a bye and all that. So I'm not going to go through that. My AFC champion, simply, I have Baltimore over Houston for the AFC championship game. Went back and forth because I think Jacksonville's going to make a run this year. But AFC champion, I have Baltimore over Houston. Baltimore getting to the Super Bowl. In the NFC, I have Angels, Philadelphia Eagles winning the NFC East. In the NFC North, I have the Detroit Lions. In the NFC South, yes, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I believe, will repeat and win the NFC South. Too many people jumping on the Atlanta Falcons bandwagon. And in the NFC West, I have the San Francisco 49ers. Meanwhile, my wildcard teams in the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys, the Green Bay Packers. And this was a tough one. I went back and forth on this between the LA Rams, who I did not pick because of their schedule. It's brutal. But I did pick, reluctantly, the Atlanta Falcons as my 3rd wild card team. So, again, Philadelphia, Detroit, Tampa Bay, and San Fran, my division winners in the NFC. Dallas, Green Bay, Atlanta are my wild card teams in the NFC. My NFL champion, my NFC championship has Green Bay at Detroit and the Lions winning. That is my NFC championship game. My NFC champion is Detroit. And then I have my Super Bowl champion, the Baltimore Ravens, getting it done against the Detroit Lions in what I think will be a classic. So there you have it. Those are all my predictions this year for the NFL. Division champions, conference champion, wild cards, conference champion, Super Bowl champion. So there you have it. All right. Now, let's get to the pigskin picks, shall we? Let's get to the pigskin picks. Oh, here we go. And I have all of them keeping track here. Everything against. Oh, actually, Angel, I want to get your. Just give me your Super Bowl prediction. After everything you've seen, tell me who you think is going to be in the Super Bowl.
Oh boy! On
you
the
Eagles.
On the AFC side, I still got to go with Kansas City because I don't see anybody at the moment, at least, that can end up knocking them off their perch as they make a 3-time run. On the NFC side, if I would love to say my Eagles, depending how they perform, Jesus, but on the NFC, I'd almost have to say that freaking Detroit goes back there again.
Again? Well, no, I mean, they haven't been yet.
Not that they made, my apologies, as there was San Fran, that they will actually make it this time, not again.
Okay, excellent. All right, so we'll see. All right, let's continue here right out of the gate in the NFL. My pigskin picks, every pick is against the spread. I had Kansas City. I wrote down -2.5 from last night, so I'm counting that as a win, which I did. I said it on the show yesterday before I left, so I am counting that as a win. Why can I not hear the NFL stuff? Okay, no, it's cut. Okay, as long as you can hear it. Sometimes that happens. It cuts in and out of my headset. But as long as Angels, you know if it's playing, right? You can hear it. You can hear me. Okay, let's get to it. Tonight in Brazil, Philadelphia. Yes, I'm taking the Eagles -2.5 against the Green Bay Packers. I don't know what everybody's mood is going to be. It's kind of a shot in the dark. I mean, it's kind of like a flip a coin, but I just have a feeling Saquon Barkley tonight, Angel, 2 touchdowns. 2, not 1, 2. Meanwhile, come on, hang on, I gotta straighten something. All right. Meanwhile, also this weekend, now we move on to Sunday's games. The Arizona Cardinals at the Buffalo Bills. Again, the spreads I'm using are what was on ESPN late last night. So we're going by what I have written down here. I'm going to keep up all these predictions and all the stats I will have for you. Again, 4-1 going into this week, 80% so far to start the season. That was all college. So far, Kansas City was a win. At Philadelphia, -2.5 tonight. Starting on Sunday, the Bills are favored by 6.5 over the Cardinals. This is one of those games Buffalo should win by double digits. I'm not saying they, go to town on them and win by 3 touchdowns, but I like the Bills here a lot. So the Bills are to play -6.5. They'll be playing at Orchard Park. The Panthers and the Saints, another interesting game. The Saints are favored by 4. A lot of people think that that the Panthers are going to play a lot better last year because of Bryce Young is going to get better, yada yada. I need to see it for Week 1 purposes anyway. I am sticking with the New Orleans Saints -4 here. The Houston Texans are on the road to take on the Indianapolis Colts. Texans are a slight favorite, a 3-point favorite on the road. This is one of those, what's wrong with this line? There's something about Anthony Richardson I do not like. I do not trust him. And the Texans, I got to take it early on. I know it's one of those tricky little lines, but I'm going to roll with the Houston Texans in this one, -3, to get it done on the road at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indy. The Jaguars and the Dolphins down here at Hard Rock Stadium. I am all about the Jaguars in this one. Jaguars +3.5. I love it. I think they have a great chance to win the game outright as well. I think Miami still will win the division. This is a big AFC matchup early on because it could dictate position for wild card or even division playoffs, depending on how these two finish. So I got the Jacksonville Jaguars at +3.5. Moving on, the Vikings at the Saquon Barkley Giants. This is a tough one to call. The Giants are a slight favorite at home, -1.5. They are. I'm sorry, they're +1.5 at home. My bad. And I do have the Giants right here. It says it. Giants +1.5 against the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know what the Vikings are going to be. No J.J. McCarthy. But I'll take a gamble with the Giants. I don't feel good about it, but I have to make a pick. I'll take the Giants +1.5 at home against the Minnesota Vikings. Patriots at the Bengals. The Bengals are 8.5-point favorites. What am I going to do? Take the Patriots on a backdoor cover? No, I will not do that. I will not do that. I am going to lay the 8.5. I know it's a big number in the NFL, despite what you may think of the Patriots opening week. 8.5. I'm going to lay it. I think the Bengals win something like 26-10, something like that. I think they win and they cover. Moving on to the Steelers and the Falcons. This is another interesting game to see what happens with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, that mess in Pittsburgh, and I think it's a mess. The Falcons with Kirk Cousins. and Michael Penix Jr. waiting in the wings should something happen. Falcons are -3, and I'm laying the 3. I'm taking the Falcons at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where you can get a hot dog for $2. It's the only place in America in football season you can get a hot dog for $2. That alone would make you pick the Atlanta Falcons. -3. So I'm picking the Falcons -3 in that one. Over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Next, we're going to have the Chicago Bears hosting the Tennessee Titans. The Bears are 3.5-point favorites. Boy, this is another one of those tricky lines. A lot of pressure on the Bears this year. A lot of pressure on Caleb Williams. But, opening game, a lot of hype. Let's see what he's all about. You get the Pete Shepard seal of approval or whatever. I'm taking the Bears -3.5, but I don't feel great about it. I'll be honest with you. I don't feel great about it, but I'm going to make a pick. Meanwhile, also moving on to the 4 o'clock games on Sunday, the Broncos and the Seahawks. Denver is a 6-point underdog in Seattle. Tough place to play. It used to be anyway at Lumen Field in Seattle. I'm going to go with Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos in a backdoor cover here. Denver +6 is my play. Meanwhile, moving on to other 4 o'clock game, the Raiders and the Chargers. I don't have the Chargers in the playoffs. I have them just being, they're just missing out. But this is Jim Harbaugh's debut. They're a 3-point favorite, slight 3-point favorite at home against the Raiders, who I don't know, Gardner Minshew. No, I'm not doing it. Jim Harbaugh, Chargers -3. Absolutely. Love the Chargers in this game. Next, we go on to Tom Brady's broadcast debut on Fox, an official broadcast debut for a regular season game. Dallas is at Cleveland. This is at 4:25 on Fox. The Browns are a slight 2.5-point favorite. It's another tricky line, and for all what the Cowboys have gone through this year, the drama and all that stuff, I'm taking them. I'm going to take the Cowboys +2.5. Cleveland still has stuff to prove to me. Deshaun Watson, you have a lot to prove to me. Let's see what happens this week when you go up against the Cowboys. Cowboys +2.5. I like Dallas this week. Coming up also at 4:25, down the street from Angel's house at Raymond James Stadium, the Commanders and Buccaneers. Tampa Bay is a 3.5-point favorite. I am laying it. Tampa Bay -3.5 over the Washington Commanders. The Detroit Lions on Sunday night open up their season at home against the LA Rams. The Lions are a 3.5-point favorite. I am taking it. I think it's going to be a good game, high-scoring game. I like the Lions by at least 6 or 7 points. Not at least. I mean, I think they barely get it done. They cover, they get it done. Lions -3.5. And finally coming up on Monday night, do I even have to say it? San Fran -4 all day. Jump on it now before the line goes up to 5. I am not buying into the Jets. I don't care what they look like on paper. They are the Jets. They will have to prove it to me. I will take San Francisco -4 all day. All right. Moving on to my official, so there you have it. Now, there you have me picking against all the games against the spread. I'll give you my percentage when we come back on Monday. My pigskin picks in college football. My top 5. And I told you at the end of all this, my best bet could be either pro or college. And my underdog of the week, it's an underdog that I think can win out. Like it can either be pro or college. I will tell you both my best bet and underdog of the week are college games. But let's get to my top 5. My pigskin picks. First up, the Texas Longhorns travel to the Big House. They have never played at Michigan. They've only played their first time ever in a regular season game. I'm going with Texas -7.5 over Michigan at the Big House. That's a noontime kickoff on Fox. Coming up also at 7:30 on NBC, Nebraska -7.5 over Colorado. I am taking the Cornhuskers to shut up. Dion, please take your sunglasses off. Sanders, please, Matt Rule, kick his ass, please. I'm so sick of him. So sick of hearing about Colorado. Auburn -13 over Cal. Love this one. An ACC-SEC matchup. Auburn, California. Auburn, Cal. So Auburn -13. That is my play at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Tough place for Cal. Auburn won out there in the Berkeley last year. Couple more, Iowa State and Iowa. This game probably be 6-3. I don't know, but 35.5 points is way too many in this one. Under 35.5, that is the play. That's my fourth best play. And 5, USC is going to be in for a little bit of a letdown. Can they win the game? Absolutely. But Utah State, the Aggies, plus 28.5 at the Coliseum, where about 10 people will probably show up. That's at 11 o'clock on the Big Ten Network, so I'm going to make you stay up for the bailout game. And then finally, my best bet of the week is Auburn. The Auburn Tigers minus 13 over Cal. I think they win that one by 3 touchdowns. And my underdog of the week is tonight at Northwestern. I think Duke plus 2.5 and former Miami head coach Manny Diaz gets it done on the road with the Dukies and the Blue Devils plus 2.5 because I think they can win the game outright. That is my underdog of the week, 9 o'clock on FS1. So there you have it. Oh man, it is great to have football back. Great to have football back. And you know what? Also, it's great to be back is my good friend Mike Adams, one of the great media personalities in this country and around the world. It's great to have Mikey Adams here on the Pete Shepard Show on the Coastal Sports Network. Mikey, good morning. How are you? Mikey, can you hear me? Mikey, can you hear me? Can you hear? Is your mic on? Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can see you. Oh.
I don't have any audio. I don't have any headphones.
You don't have any headphones?
Where's the volume control on this thing?
Oh, that's not going to be good.
Oh, wait.
You don't have any headphones or any earbuds?
I think I got it. I'm an idiot.
You got it? You got it? Are you there? I see and hear you. I can see and hear you. Let's see. Meter, yes.
There we go.
You can. All right. You can hear me?
I can hear you. Sorry.
I had Meter on yesterday. He forgot his goddamn charger plug in Tallahassee. You got no headphones. What the hell's going on?
Well, we radio people don't know anything about how to do this stuff. It's all about the internet these days. I had to move upstairs to my wife's computer because, as you can see, I got a part-time reusable, recyclable air conditioning sale going on in my living room. You want to buy an air conditioner?
Oh, mine's working just fine. Thank you. Yeah, and haven't shut mine off in quite some time. But anyway, Mikey Adams, great media personality. Remember him from WEI back in the day, hosting the nighttime show, and you were on Big Show. You're on with all of us so many times.
Yeah, we were so high tech. We actually had engineers and producers to turn up the volume for us so we could be heard.
Well, you have your own podcast every Tuesday. You do them once a week. I've been on it, I think a couple of times. And
once a week is because I'm so old now, and that's why soon I'll be moving down near you, Pete, because I understand that down there in the coastal area of Naples, Fort Myers, etc.
Yeah.
That the party stores sell 10 times as many candles as they do cakes. That's what I'm hearing.
Well,
I had my honeymoon down there 20 years ago with my lovely wife, Christine, and of course, my best friend lives in Naples. So I'm coming down there. You and I are going to play some serious golf and raise a ruckus.
I love it. I love raising a ruckus. Yes, absolutely. Well, Naples is more for old people. Where I live in Fort Myers, we're more, I'm 57 years old. There's a lot of hip people who are pretty cool that live in this area. So we love Naples. We love Cape Coral. I love all of Southwest Florida. It's great. The Mike, the happy hours down here. I mean, I still can't believe they don't have them in Massachusetts. It's so ridiculous. But I mean, you can go out. There are times here you can go out for $10-20 and have a ball. Happy hours start at 7 o'clock in the morning in some places. $2 well drinks, all sorts of food specials, and you can't even get a $5 cocktail up in the. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
No, well, you know what the thing is about Boston. You know this. The taxes are so high, the traffic is so crappy that they have unhappy hour. And it goes all night. When the Patriots season starts, now you're going to be seeing a lot of unhappy people in unhappy hour.
But not totally unexpected. And we'll get into. Look, I'm not expecting. I just want to see some progression this year with them. That's all. That's all you can expect. They're going to be a 4 or 5 win team unless something really dramatic happens. It is what I just want to see the development. I want them to be competitive as they were last year in most of their games. But look, I have no expectations. It's next year. They got a ton of salary cap space. They got the 4 of the top 100 picks. So whatever. What's your plan for Sunday? What are you doing?
Well, I'm going to eat a lot of beef as always, and then I will spend the rest of the day beefing about all kinds of. But the thing about the Patriots game, my son just joined the football team up here in Upton, Massachusetts, and he's 14 years old, and and I'm trying to teach him about football, and I'm going to tell him we're not going to watch Patriots games if you want to learn about football this year. There's going to be other games to watch. Have you ever seen such a mess? Ever since Brady left, the quarterback position has been just a freak show and a joke.
Yeah, well, I think Drake May's the real deal. I really do. And you're going to see him sooner rather than later because to me, Jacoby Brissett doesn't make it through the first 4 games. I just don't see it. I understand the mentality, the offensive line. You don't want to bring Drake May in, and then things go awry. And he's on his, you don't want to bench him because it's going to affect his psyche and all that.
Sure.
I understand all that. And I always bring up the Bledsoe from back in '93 when. A little bit different. The offensive line was a little more established then. Bledsoe was thrown to the wolves right away. Got dinged up a little bit. Parcells was the coach. And then you remember the end of the year, they won their last 4 games, knocked Miami out of the playoffs. That's what I want. I just want to see that kind of progression with this team. They're nowhere close to being playoff ready this year. So that's my expectations.
They got all that stuff working against me. New coach, coaches, and just the quarterback thing was kind of mind-boggling because you expect the first round pick to jump right in there right away, but I understand why they're doing this. The problem is, as spoiled Patriots fans up here over the years, it's not going to be that delightful to watch.
The only thing that might be delightful is getting out of Gillette Stadium quicker than normal. Because, that might be the only thing. But I just hope fans, have expectations that are reasonable. And I'm not saying you have to be like Felger either and do that bullshit. Here's all he does, and this is just from a professional thing. There's only so many times you can. Well, you suck, and he sucks, and you suck, and he sucks. It's like one of old Steve Sweeney's old bits. You suck, and he suck, and he sucks, and you suck, and everybody sucks. Okay, right. You can't do that for 4 hours every week about the Patriots. You don't have anybody can do that. Find something else to talk about. I mean, you can only say, Joe in New Hampshire, you're up there. Yeah, the Patriots suck. Oh, yeah, I agree, they really suck.
That's how they made their reputation. It was the naysayers and the negativity thing, and that was a contrarian point of view at one point for a long, long time. Now they may actually be right about some of this stuff for a change.
Yeah, it only took 25 years for some people, and especially anyway. So what's been going on? What's been going on with you? You're one of the funniest people ever. You always had such entertaining shows and everything back in the day, and still do.
Yeah, well, where retired broadcasters go, and I'm retired. I'm doing the podcast, the Planet Mikey podcast, and we do that once a week. Like you said, when you get to be my age, you don't want to do more than anything once a week. I got to leave time for golf and Metamucil therapy. But that's and that and the underwear modeling, of course. I've been doing a lot of that.
Yeah, you're a big Speedo guy too.
Oh yeah, the JCPenney catalog called me. They want me in the back page with those fat guys.
Now, you had a funny post yesterday on your Twitter page. It was a defensive halfback for the Boston Patriots. And his name was Dick Felt.
Dick Felt, yeah. Now, for the life of me, I don't understand why he didn't go with Rick Felt. Rick Felt would have been, a big change in his life. Because what happens is when your name is Dick Felt, you go to a party, you say, "Hey, how you doing, Dick Felt?" The guy says, "No, thank you."
All right, but it could be worse. What if it was Dick Trickle, the former NASCAR racer?
Well,
what's worse, Dick Trickle or Dick Felt?
Or Dick Pole, the former Red Sox pitcher.
That's right, Dick Pole.
Dick. There are no Dicks in baseball anymore. If you look around, in the old days, there was Dick Tracewski, Dick Raditz, Dick Allen. There was all these Dicks. And now it's like you can't find one. Sometimes there's a Richard, but I don't know that there's any of those anymore. That name has completely gone down the crapper.
There's shrinkage. They were in a pool.
Yeah. And what's next? There won't be any more Peters. I mean, this is ridiculous.
That's crazy. Well, there'll always be some Mikeys, but yeah, that's always. I was like, when I saw that post for yours last night, I was like, what would be worse going through life, Dick Felt or Dick Trickle?
Right, yeah. So there's a lot of bad names out there, but usually people push them aside and either change their names or alter them. Dick Raditz, as you know, the monster.
The best.
By the way, he still holds the all-time major league record for most strikeouts by a reliever in one season. It's still Dick Raditz because he'd go 2 innings every single night. But he when we did the radio, you and I did WEEI, he was my radio partner. He'd come in on a Sunday morning at 9:00 and take one look at my face, and Raditz would say, "Holy Jesus, you look like a blocked punt."
The monster was he was something else. He was just a tremendous. He was freaking funny. And he used to complain about pitching back in not too long ago before he passed away. Pitchers need to throw more. Pitchers need to throw more. Instead, and even now it's even worse. I think he would have he would spontaneously combust if he saw how Major League quote unquote starters would be used today. He would lose it.
And for the money that the starters get, the one stat that's gone away really from the consciousness of baseball fans in America is the complete game. The career leader in the major leagues right now for most complete games in his life with 26 is Justin Verlander. Now, Ferguson Jenkins had 30 in 1 year. It's a whole new world.
How about Louis Tiant? I mean, Louis Tiant, who's still the biggest abomination in the history of sports, and he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it is. 187. He had 187 complete games, Pete. He started. He completed 38% of his starts in his career with his 229 wins. So you're right. In the old days, the men were men, and the sheep knew it. No, what happened was the guys would go out there and they say, "No, it's my ball, it's my game. I don't want some guy from the bullpen coming and ruining this victory for me." So it's a whole different world. I love Louis Tiant, by the way.
Yeah, I'm very good friends with Dan, and Louis was on the show when I was at the ESPN affiliate down here a couple of years ago. He was great. He came in and sat in for an hour, hysterical, the stories, Yep. And Dan, his son, is just a tremendous guy.
Yes, I'm going to say this in Spanish for Angel, okay?
Yeah, he speaks fluent Spanish.
Su familia son mis amigos, okay? Buenos hombres en todo, en la familia. Hey, yo hablo español, es mi segunda lengua, ¿sí? Sí, soy un gringo, pero yo hablo español, es importante. Yeah, and I'm able to practice a lot, now that I'm doing the underwear modeling and the Uber driving. I get to people love that I can speak Spanish. They look at me with this. What's this Irish English guy doing speaking Spanish?
I could do the Italian thing, but I understood almost everything you said. Did you call yourself a stupid gringo? Is that what you said?
Well, that's stupid gringo. I won't go that far.
I know.
Definitely a gringo, no question about that. It's,
Angel Mikey. Yes, I should have introduced you guys. Executive
producer. Your producer, I heard him doing your soccer stuff.
Oh yeah, was that great? I finally scored a goal in soccer from Messi.
I want to get him to do my answering machine at home. I still have one.
No problem. I'll end up doing it.
Oh my God. All right. So sports aside, I don't watch the Oscars or the Emmys or the Grammy, but the Emmys are coming up on Sunday. I do watch a lot of TV shows in my when I'm not talking about sports or prepping for this show.
Yeah.
Are you into any? I don't care if it's Game of Thrones or the new Lord of the Rings or the stuff. So much good content that's not on regular TV that's going to win all the Emmys. Like The Bear. I love that show, The Bear.
Yeah. You're talking to somebody. I have 3 Emmys. Well, they're New England Emmys, not national.
That's right. You do have 3.
I was after I left the radio station. I became the only car salesman that had 3 Emmys in the entire United States. It's like unbelievable. Some guy gets in the back of my car and he says, "Hey, anyone ever tell you look like that guy who used to do sports on TV?"
Oh, so you really are doing Uber stuff?
Oh, just because you know why? I'm bored, Pete.
Yeah,
I started my oldest son's at college. My wife works for a living, and I got nothing to do. I'm watching, I Love Lucy reruns. I said, I got to do something. So I went out and I bought a huge 2008 Grand Marquis, and I picked people up. So this guy says,
"Really? You're in a great? I love it."
It's unbelievable. I'm going to put a camera in there and make it a live thing. But I pick up people. Well, this guy says, "Oh, you look like that guy." Did anyone ever tell you look like the guy you used to be on the? I say, "Oh, I hear that all the time." I didn't say anything. I just kept. I hear that all the time.
But Angel, I don't know if you can ever punch this up. It's got to be on YouTube somewhere. One of the funniest ever things that happened. I don't know, Angel, if you can do it, because I love the audience to see this, and Mikey can describe it. Back when he was doing a New England Cable News nightly show, and he got attacked by the roving camera.
Yeah, the robotic.
Right during the show. So I don't know, Angel, on YouTube. It's got to be out there, right, Mikey?
Yeah, there's a YouTube of that. In fact, if you go to Planet Mikey podcast YouTube, you'll find it. But what happened, Pete, was we were experimenting in the 90s with robotic cameras way before Elon Musk even learned how to.
Yeah.
So we had 3 robotic cameras, and they were huge. I mean, they were like, 1,000-pound cameras that would slide across the floor and change position. Well, we had, with all due respect to NECN at the time, we had interns running the controls.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I see the camera go, starts to shake, and it's coming toward me. It charged the mound, basically. Came at me. I was like, what the heck? Danger, Will Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing came at us, and it basically pushed the entire set out of the camera's view because it was a 1,000-pound device. And we just got slid off the stage, Howard Green and I, and it was very embarrassing. But
the late great Howard Green, yeah.
Dick Clark used that clip on his, America's Funniest Videos thing. So I was getting calls from all over the country. People I would say, "Oh, I just saw you on TV, this stupid thing," and I was also getting checks for that blooper. The network that Dick Clark's show was on was sending checks
as they
to me for a mistake that was made on a cable news network. I love that payday.
Angel, if there's a way, I'm sure he's trying to find it. We can punch that up. He's trying to find it. Okay. But while he's looking for that, Mikey, and your show was so unique back then. This is actually a couple years before I really knew you. But I used to watch it all the time. But you had some wacky things happen on your show.
Oh, live TV.
Live TV.
Yeah.
Besides the camera thing, what are some other funny stories that you had?
Well, there was no delay. So the callers would, I don't know how much language we can use on this show, but
everything, anything you want, fuck it, whatever you want to say.
We were on live TV, right?
Yeah.
And the callers would call in, we'd give the number, and they'd call in, but there was no delay. So they knew that. After a while, they figured that out, so they'd get away with murder. So one guy called up and he said he was trying to embarrass my co-host Howard Green. So he calls, and again live. There's no delay and no ability to bleep the guy out. He says, "Hey Howard," yeah. He goes, "Yeah." He says, "You have a small dick." and I'm like, Howard gets all, and I turned to Howard and then they put the camera back on me and I said, hey, to the caller, I said, "Your mother didn't mind." And the reason I did that was because I didn't want the guy to win. He was going to win that thing until I said that. We had people, they'd call, they'd, "Fuck you," they'd hang up. It was great. But then I would say, "Okay, thanks for calling," and we'd go to the next call. That's what you have to do. If you get mad, and it becomes a bad thing. But we had guests on, that were crazy. I like the 2 guys that were the cops on Adam 12. I had the Love Boat crew come in. Pete Best, former Beatle drummer, who was
the Love Boat crew. You had the Love Boat crew come in.
Yeah. We had five cast members from the Love Boat on the set. I had The Rock before he was The Rock. He was Rocky Malavea. He came in. We had all kinds of big time wrestling names and a lot of actual athletes and actually, credible guests as well. But the thing was about it was you never knew what was going to happen because it was totally live TV. And I love that. The adrenaline on something like that is much better than anything taped. You know that.
No, absolutely. And maybe the FCC never really complained because it was on cable. So you could, they were a little bit different than being on network TV, but still.
Right. Yeah, and it's like, what are we going to do? It's live TV. Someone, as long as it wasn't me doing all the,
Oh, that's hysterical. That's
and it was a 6-year run, and we got, as I said, we got some Emmys out of it. And the thing was, people didn't know. They tuned in because they didn't know what was going to happen either, and neither did I. And I was the host. So it made it more fun than normal broadcasting.
Yeah. Then after you left is when they started having me on regularly on Sunday nights, and with Buck and Jamie Parker, I think, was doing it back then.
Right. You know, the thing with my TV career, as you might be able to tell by even this very small screen I'm looking at right now, my TV career kind of ended when high def came along. It's like, okay, back to radio, you know.
But you always made it a fun time on your show all the time. It wasn't necessarily all about X's and O's. You had a lot of cool guests on the radio as well. That was good stuff, and you always made it really fun. And certainly when you were doing morning drive with Dennis Callahan back in the day and filling in for Meter or whatever, you used to nail that role. You really did. It was
Flash Boy, yeah, and but it was a lot of fun. The thing that made you different on that radio station was not your bombasticity, which is clearly one of your traits, but it was the fact that you always came through with a solid, strong opinion on something in a ballsy fashion. You didn't care. You're going to give your opinion, straightforward. And that's what I always loved about Pete Shepard was you know what you're going to get from him. And it's not going to be some BS lie that he made up to please some sports franchise. It's going to be big things, So that's
and to this day, that's still the way I am. And I appreciate the kind words there. And you look at the status of radio, terrestrial radio. What a fucking joke. Beasley just fired the company I used to work for. They're going bankrupt too. They're barely surviving only because of the Boston station. They just fired a couple more people. They're moving deck chairs around. That's all they can do. Odyssey and EI, that place is an absolute mess. And I was having a conversation with my good friend Bill Sparrows from the Herald, who I have on once a week. And what fans don't understand these radio situations, when you're in bankruptcy court, you can't hire any new people. You can't be. They're screwed. I mean, Odyssey's screwed. Beasley's screwed. What do you call it? The other companies, they're all terrestrial radio. They're all going down the shitter.
That's because they're all owned by several companies, and they're all cookie cutter. Yeah. They have this what they call a formula, and this is how much we need to spend here, and they don't have any new creativity or inspiration for the existing people to be creative, because people know what's coming. It's going to be cost cutting. The listenership goes down. It used to be radio. You'd establish a personality, and people would lock in if they liked you. If they liked what you're doing and saying, they would be loyal listeners. Now it's like all the changes going on, and much of it, 90% of it, is unlistenable.
Oh, I agree. And that's why they just, moving people with 1.2 shares from afternoon drive to middays and vice versa. That's just not going to do everything. And I'm telling you, you can't just keep saying you suck, they suck, we suck, everybody sucks. I mean, then don't even talk about it. Move on to entertainment, which is what I do. We do a lot of entertainment stuff on the show. I'm a big foodie. Talk about all the Food Network shows that I watch and stuff. That's why with the Emmys coming up, and I hope nobody on regular TV wins. I hope it's all coming from either Amazon. Have you ever watched The Boys on Amazon?
I have not.
Boy.
I have not watched that. You know why? I watch the news. I'm very, very plugged into the news channels. I'll tell you what I do watch. I watch every news channel, and have you seen that commercial with Tolga the cat? It's a commercial for Smalls cat food. Have you seen that thing? I don't know if you haven't.
I may have. What's it? Describe it.
Well, they got this creepy guy, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Tolga, and this is my cat, Oscar, and he loves." I used to feed him this crappy, shitty food, but now I give him Smalls. It's made of really good, but he's kissing the cat's face, and he says, "Oh, he's healthier. His coat looks nicer, and even his breath is better." I'm thinking, how do you know that much about your cat's breath? First of all. Secondly, the commercial runs, sometimes they run it twice in the same commercial break, back to back. And I'm like, okay, I get it. You like your cat. He likes the food. I don't have a cat. Fuck off my TV. I'm sick and tired of seeing you and your stupid cat. And at the end of the commercial, after he says his breath is better, the cat pops his head out of the box and he goes, and he even likes the box. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that sucks.
And it runs incessantly. I wish they. Honestly, I'm going to call the company. I'm going to write them a letter saying, please stop with the cat shit.
But think about this is how fucked up the business is, and I include that kind of stuff as part of the business. You have to get that through some sort of management. You have to be sitting at a round table of quote unquote marketing executives who think they know what they're doing.
Yeah, geniuses.
That makes you see a commercial like that. I don't want to buy that product.
I'll tell you, and it's sickening. But it's the repetition that kills me. I can live with a bad commercial every once in a while, but when it's on every break, on every network, and I flip around the stations, I said, "Oh, it's Tolga again and his fucking cat."
Tolga.
Get him on. You'll see it now. Next time you see it now, you'll go, "Oh yeah, that does suck." That really does. But,
I'm hoping Michael Keaton gets nominated for Academy Award for Beetlejuice. And that's I don't go to the movies all that much anymore. Everything breaks so quickly, but. I may have to go check that one out. I was like doing this, and
I'm losing your audio.
Oh, you're losing my audio?
Oh, there you go. Okay, sorry.
So I was saying, I hope Michael Keaton gets nominated for an Academy Award for the new Beetlejuice movie.
Yeah.
I don't go to the movies much anymore, but I might go see that one. Go to the
and he was great in Mr. Mom. With the classic. So, what are you putting in, for electrical 220? He goes 220, 221, whatever it takes. And he was also, I thought he was pretty good Batman.
He was better than, better than, not as good as Christian Bale, who's wacky, but yes, he was good in the first two.
Yeah, as movie legends go, with Keatons, you have to go back to Buster Keaton to be anything better than Michael, I think.
So what else? So I guess you're driving Uber, you're doing your podcast and everything. Now, you still have the same crew on board with your podcast?
Oh yeah, we got Smitty, and Ben Kitchen.
Ben Kitchen, love Ben. Yep. Ben is the best. Ben, how's he doing?
He's doing great. He's got a little boy, 2 years old, and he's happy. Smitty's great. Smitty's like 112 years old, but he only looks like he's like 50. He's doing great, and the podcast is fun. It's on Apple, and it's on Spotify and iHeart. Yep. We've had close to 1 million people, download.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. You
never want to feel like you're talking to yourself in any media sense. But there was radio stations I worked at where I really was talking to myself.
This is great because you. And people don't know this. Also, Connecticut School of Broadcasting, Hall of Fame guy, Mike Adams, like myself. But you started, if you go back to the Howard Stern days and the movie.
I replaced him.
You were at WCCC, right?
WCCC, AM and FM, Hartford. I was the morning guy.
Private Parts, you were there.
When he left, I was the next guy in his chair doing mornings 1980. At WCCC. It was weird. And, and then, of course, his career shit the bed. Mine took off like a rocket. But we were getting, how much money we both made? I made the same salary that he made because when I came in, I said, what does this job pay? They hired me. Same as Howard made. I said, well, what was that? $275 a week.
And that was a lot for 1980. That was a lot.
Unbelievable. Then he went to Detroit, and I hired Fred Norris at Rock 102 in Springfield after I left CCC. Fred Norris.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was the last guy to hire Fred before Howard got him. Freddie's from Manchester, Connecticut, my hometown. He's a really good guy. But I've never even met Howard Stern. He's a few weeks older than me, but he's worth $1 billion. So the few weeks that he's older than me, he must have learned a lot.
WCCC.
Yeah,
you get those back then. You had the program directors, and even I was doing news sports when I first started radio. I was like, make sure you do the time and the temperature. She'd sit there. I love when he's like, my grandmother died last night. It's 6:18, 42 degrees.
Right.
It's terrible. Well, you
stock report followed by the farm report next. Well, the first station I worked for, Pete, was a 1,000-watt AM station, but at night when I was on, it was 250 watts. AMs. I have a hair dryer that's 1,000 watts in my bathroom. I knew to myself, I'm doing that show. No one would ever call, and I'd say, okay, I try to get people to call. I'd say, all right, we're talking topics here. I think the Pope's a pimp. What do you think about that? Give me a call. Nothing. Nothing. Not a single. I say, okay, well, if next caller wins $500, I would just say that's just and then I was going to say, we have a winner. Too late, but then no one called. It was like, if I figured out that I could have gone out in the parking lot of the station and yelled loudly, and more people would have heard me than they heard from this radio station. It was the most pathetic thing you've ever seen in your life. But everybody has to start somewhere, right?
I got you beat. That sounds exciting. My first station back in 1987/88, or whatever it was WKFD in Wickford, Rhode Island.
Okay.
In between Narragansett and North Kingstown. And it was just bought by two great people I still respect a lot. Paul Pavis, who was a great engineer at WBZ. He's probably retired now. And Patrice Wood of Channel 10. They're married. They're a couple. Remember Patrice?
They bought the radio station?
They bought the radio station back in 1987. They didn't own it that long, but I was one of the first people that they hired. I did afternoon news, and I ran the board for my first ever commercial I got to do was a promo for Providence College basketball. It was great.
Yeah.
And that was the Gordy Chiesa year. It was a year after Patino left, so it wasn't very good. But anyway, we carried the games. The station was a 500-watt station. It went down to $1.50 at night, Mike.
Whoa!
$1.50. $1.50.
That's awful. That's awful. But you know what? So that radio's dead, by the way.
Oh yeah, please. And anyway, what the town of Wickford is now really famous. It's a beautiful little town, a harbor and everything else. The Witches of Eastwick was supposed to be filmed there. And people had a conniption because they didn't want the road shut down and everything else. And they were so stupid. And then they ended up filming it just across the border in some small town in Massachusetts, in southeastern Massachusetts. But that's the truth. Witches of Eastwick was supposed to be filmed in Wickford, Rhode Island.
Well, once they closed down the highway, they changed the name of it to Bitches of Eastwick. The traffic, Pete, when you come back to Boston, you were up here for the Hall of Fame thing.
Yeah.
The traffic is ridiculous now in Boston. It's worse than ever. And there's nobody doing anything about it.
What can you do? If you're 5 to 10 miles outside the city or worse, but just 5 to 10 miles outside the city, and you have a 9-to-5 job, you have to leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. You're not going to make it.
You got to give it an extra hour, and because you don't know, one tiny little mishap on the Mass Pike and you're screwed. It's been like that forever, but that doesn't mean they're going to lower our taxes here in Massachusetts.
Mikey, this was awesome. What else you got coming up? Anything you want to plug? You're going to write a book. You're going to start.
No, I want to get Pete.
Let's get the Mike Adams story going. Let's, that could be an extra or something.
I want to get Pete Shepard on the Planet Mikey podcast as soon as you can. On a Tuesday, we tape at 1 o'clock. So you tell me when, and we'll put you on.
I could do next Tuesday. That's fine.
All right. It's Pete Shepard on Tuesday on the Planet Mikey podcast, everybody. Don't forget to tune in for that.
And we'll reminisce again about WCCC.
And I'm coming down there as I do every February to see my best friend who lives in Naples. And next time I'm down there, you and I are going out to dinner and playing golf.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Is Christine going to be with you? I'll bring Peanut Gallery in the other room, my wife Elaine, and we'll have a ball. It'll be a good time.
It sounds good, buddy.
All right, bud. All the best, man. Love you. Take care.
All right. Pete Shepard, everybody.
Mikey Adams had his own planet. Had his own planet at one point.
It's not Uranus.
You're the best, man. We'll talk to you soon.
I'll see you later.
All right, Angel, quick break here. And then Mike Petralia is going to join us. Speaking of Uranus, I can say that about Mikey because he sends me filthy texts every time I want to have him on the show. He tells me to fuck off and do other things with my body parts that he can't physically do. I'm not a contortionist. Anyway, he's coming up next live from the Queen City as the Pete Shepard Show continues on this Football Friday here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jim and the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our second location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish, now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu. Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it Gardenia. It's pronounced Chardonnay.
Eye on Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, eyontp.com. Eye on Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Eye on Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing, but not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Pete Shepherd Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
Back here, it's hour number 3 of the Pete Shepherd Show. How are you on this Friday? Mike Petralli are going to join me in just a little bit from the Queen City in Cincinnati. We preview the Patriots and the Cincinnati Bengals. Fascinating game. We'll see how Joey Burrow responds after missing. He's the healthiest since his rookie campaign back in 2020. He missed most of last year with that injury. So we shall see. And Zach Taylor said there's a contingency plan for the Bengals about Jamar Chase, if he's going to play or not. So there's lots of interesting storylines in this game. But I think the health of Joey Burrow is really what I'm looking forward to, because we didn't see a lot in camp or on television exhibition, because as with most guys, and I know he played a little bit, but he says he's all set. He is ready to go. Tore a ligament in his throwing hand last November 16th. Wow. And had surgery. And Cincinnati ended up finishing 9-8, last place in the AFC North at 9-8. Not bad to finish last when you're 9-8, but we'll get Mike's thoughts as well. Angel, before Mike comes on, if we can, Angel Martinez in the house, doing a great job, exec producing, and feeling a lot better than he did the other day, or yesterday, I should say. Angel, if we could scroll down, an interesting take by Bill Belichick on Caleb Williams in the preseason on the Inside the NFL show that he does now on the CW. Interesting take. He's not overly impressed yet. The key word is yet with Caleb Williams or the Bears. There it is. You got it. You're the magic man. Yep. Got you.
Whoever they played against in preseason, it wasn't the best players on the other team.
So what you're saying is, Coach, we can't plan a parade because Caleb was so accurate in the preseason.
Well, it wasn't accurate. He's 10 for 20.
Yeah, it's like you didn't watch the 20 throws. Come on. There's a reason he's excited.
It's 20 throws, Chad.
He buzzed through them. And
you got to think how good the 10 were that were completed.
Yeah.
The
they weren't that good. There was a couple highlight plays. They weren't that good.
And no one's saying he might not be great. Yeah. But what we're saying is, it's just you need the context. It's like when I hear somebody's lighting it up in camp, I'm like, is he running with the twos? Is he going against the two defense? Is the quarterback struggling because he's got the two offensive line? There's just a lot we don't know.
Whoever they played against in preseason.
Yeah, so, rightly so. I think you'd say that about everybody. So that's why I think that the pressure on any rookie quarterback, whether it be Bo Nix or Caleb Williams, Drake May, you got to give it some time. There are very few people that come in and have a command of the offense right away. The last one I can think of that was highly touted was Andrew Luck. He stepped in right away. And before that, and I'm probably missing somebody, but before that, I have to go back to Dan Marino and the Miami Dolphins, because he stepped in right away, came off the bench. I think he lit up Seattle his first game off the bench in a losing effort. They were down by like 3 touchdowns or something. They nearly pulled it out. I remember that game back in the day. And I was still pissed the Patriots didn't draft him when he was coming out of Pittsburgh. And that was the year of all those great quarterbacks. And they took Tony Eason instead of they had a shot at Dan Marino. So did a bunch of other teams, including the Jets, who took Kenny O'Brien. But anyway, we digress. But very few rookie quarterbacks come and just light it up right away.
I could not, by the way, find the. I tried on YouTube to look for the video with Mike. It wouldn't come up. I got like every other ridiculous video except for the one that he was talking about.
Diana Rossini is saying the wives of the Philadelphia beat reporters tweeting for them back in Philly and New Jersey because their husbands are not allowed to tweet in Brazil may be my favorite sidebar story of the week. I hope they let it rip tonight. That's the thing. Guy, you can go to jail. You know, like we went to Facebook jail earlier today. We're trying to work out the kinks. We have a bail bondsman and all that stuff. And we're trying to work out the kinks for our little Facebook sentence today. But people are forgetting you cannot tweet. I don't know what else you can't do in Brazil. I don't know what other websites you can't use either. Do you?
No, I'm pretty sure they don't have a problem with freaking Facebook because, they just like things other than what the truth is. But regardless of that, a lot of the reporters that are from Philly are actually sending their messages back to the U.S. through other people so then they can turn around and then post it on behalf. Or let's say you and I were out there, you were representing, whatever, EEI, I was with 94. So you would have to not directly go back to EEI. You would have to go to a friend of a friend. So then that friend can then send it over to freaking EEI and then they would be able to submit it out, which I just think if it's that bad where they're really closing out your opinion, your voice, it's ridiculous, especially going to jail for something. I can't believe someone was arrested. You went to their house and
I know.
And it wasn't even anything freaking there was no.
I know.
They just said what he said.
No, I know. I think I told you this story before. Many years ago, the Big Show, we were going to do a trip with some fans, and the Patriots were going to play Seattle and Beijing in China. And we were going to do a big trip, and our show was going to be on at like 3 o'clock in the morning out in China. And it was all set. We were all ready to go. We were going to start the promotions and all that. And about a week before, we get a list from the Chinese government, and it says do's and don'ts. I mean, mostly don'ts. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about smoking being an issue. Don't complain about lack of public toilet facilities. And there are a few other things. Don't. And then we said, okay, and we're ready to put this promotion together, take some fans with us to China. And I believe we're going to be on the team plane. There's only going to be a couple of other people that are going to be able to go, besides friends and family. And then about a month and a half or 2 months before we were supposed to go, they had to cancel. We had to cancel everything because the stadium wasn't ready. So the Patriots did not get to play in China against Seattle. But I remember that list of do's and they're mostly don'ts. Don't talk about religion. Don't talk about smoking. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. Anyway. Let me see. While I'm waiting for Mike to come on, let's see. I just retweeted
there was a thing yesterday with Pat McAfee. Speaking about, go ahead. There was something.
No, go ahead.
It was something. Oh, what was it? I see the one, the Get Up one, but there was something. And I'll look it up in case Mike is running a little bit behind as well. But something with like Cincinnati that no one can no longer record them coming like across.
Oh yes, you can't be and I was gonna bring that up to Mike as soon as it comes on. Yeah, you're not allowed to film them walking across the street. It's just crazy. In fact, did he have it? He had it in his. I'm looking at his posts and got the injury report. Let's see. Nope. All right, let's. I want to play this for you. I just tweeted it out, Angel, on Get Up this morning. They're recapping Lamar Jackson. You had Richard Clark talking about the Ravens loss to the Chiefs. Pretty good stuff.
He squeezed the baby, right? You can't squeeze the baby. It can't get.
Explain what that means.
Sometimes, right? You love the baby so much, and you want to take care of it so much, and you want to do the right thing that you smother it with love. And so now you overthink things when it comes to making decisions about that child and who they are. That's what he did. He has somebody that's wide open, and he says, the thing I don't want to do is I don't want to throw this ball bad. I want to throw it perfectly, actually. And what Dan is telling us, you don't have to throw it perfectly. He's butt, booty, naked, wide open, right? And also, Brian Cook, who is chasing him, isn't looking at the football. Correct. So if anything, you want to throw it short and have Brian Cook run up the back of Isaiah Likely so he can body him out. Lamar Jackson, and I love what Dan said too, this is the juxtaposition of who Lamar Jackson is. When I watched that Baltimore Ravens team last night, that team is not good on offense. That team didn't have playmakers on offense outside of Isaiah Likely. That's why Lamar Jackson had to go skip to Malou and hot sauce, right? So the only reason they're in the game, the only reason they have those 3 plays is because of him. But now you have to make them. How many times have we said the other team is better than the Kansas City Chiefs, but Patrick Mahomes is going to win the game? And how many times has he done it?
Yeah.
I love Lamar Jackson. I want Lamar Jackson to win all the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
You can't beat that dude and that team if you don't make that throw.
All That's a great
No,
point.
it's a great point, and that's the kind of throws that he's been missing in his career. You got to make that play. You absolutely. Patrick Mahomes makes that play. Tom Brady makes that play. Peyton Manning makes that play. You got to make that play. Just don't give me this. The guy was wide open, so you give him the ball.
Yep.
But that's the difference. That's the difference. That and about that much space last night. Not even about that much space on the goal line last night. Otherwise, at least would have gone into overtime. But it did not. All right, Andrew. While we're waiting for Mike, because he's only going to have a few more minutes, because Gabe Morency is coming up at the bottom of the hour. If we can go back to Total Sports Prep and preview the Patriots at Cincinnati, and then we'll do some of that. Let's play the first cut. Gerard Mayo says that Jacoby Brissett got hurt. He's confident in Drake May. This is from the Patriots webpage.
Come on. Oh, you want to do this again, do you? All right. Hold on.
Take that.
Exactly. Go back down again. La, 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 la. Wow, really? All right. Let me close this out. I'm back up again. I tell you what, some things want to get so finicky.
All right. That's all right. That's all right. It's all good. Yeah, Gerard Mayo on Jacoby Brissett, if he got hurt, he's confident that Drake May can take over. Okay.
Scrolling. Rawhide.
He was reading my mind.
Why does
rolling? All my ass is swollen.
It's funny that first one. It doesn't allow me to play it.
All right, try the second one. Jacoby Brissett on the offensive line.
Yep.
Oh, I'm excited for him. And I know that's the big question about us is like what's the offensive line situation, and I think that's the cool part about this league and this game is everybody can have all these questions. You still got to go line up and do it. And I think those guys understand that. They understand that task. I feel very confident that with this plan and how we're going to attack the defense, but also help us and protect the quarterback and the running back and obviously pushing the ball down the field and things like that. I feel very confident that those guys are locking in on the plan, ironing out the details. And I'm excited for them to really make their impact on this team because it starts with them. And I know what they're capable of. And I'm just excited for them to show, I guess, all of these questions about them.
All right, that's Jacoby Brissett. If we could scroll down a little bit, Angel, to Joey Burrow on his motivation for this season from the Bengals webpage.
Just like every year, whenever you come back from injury, you feel like you got to come back and show that not only you can do what you did prior to the injury, but also that I've gotten better. So I'm excited to go out and show the work that I've put in over the last 8 months. I know the other guys are too. It's been a long time coming, so we're ready to go.
All right. And let's see. I want to get a couple more in. Let's talk. Let's hear from Cincinnati head coach Zach Taylor. The last cut there on the depth chart is meaningless.
Zach Moss as the number one running back on the depth chart. Is that an indication that he'll get more reps than Chase Brown, or are you still planning for it to be almost 50-50 split?
Yeah, you can ask PJ and Emily. My favorite thing in the world is talk about the depth chart, which I pay no attention to whatsoever. And we've got a lot of players that are all starters. It can depend on what personnel grouping we have on the field the first play of the game. So to me, it's meaningless. I know we have to do it. I put no time into it because I think we got a lot of players that are capable of being starting players for us. And same as guys that run out the tunnel. Sometimes that's a lot of unnecessary angst on my part. We got many guys that could be fitting that role, and sometimes as a head coach, you just got to point to one.
And Angel, the cut above that, according to Cincinnati, says, will we see Jamar Chase suit up on Sunday from SiriusXM NFL Radio?
Couple of things here. There's no doubt Joe Burrow is going to say as little as possible, hoping that he has his favorite target on the field when they take on the New England Patriots on Sunday. If for some reason Jamar Chase isn't there, I don't know why the Bengals would not sign him to a new contract to start the season Obviously, the collective bargaining agreement allows Ja'Marr Chase to renegotiate his deal after 3 seasons in the NFL. Each year he's made the Pro Bowl. Certainly has played at an elite level. I suspect that this deal will get done. It may be at the 11th hour, and that's the brinksmanship that I was talking about, Brian. You've seen these things happen hours before the first game. These things tend to come together. I will say this. If it's not done before the first game, according to the Cincinnati Bengals, once the regular season starts at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday, probably the deal won't get done after that.
All right, we shall see. Well, I just texted Mike Petraglia about that. We'll try again maybe next Monday or Tuesday. We have Gabe Morency coming on at the bottom of the hour, a great handicapper. All right, if we could scroll down, Angel, to Jacksonville at Miami, if you don't mind, and play that first cut. Doug Peterson on the Dolphins offense, who they will see, obviously, in week 1. This is from the Jaguars webpage.
A lot of respect for Miami, a lot of respect for their skill positions. And, even with their quarterback, Tua, I think, he does a great job of getting the ball out of his hand and anticipating windows. And those guys make plays.
Yeah, they do. Meanwhile, let's go to Miami head coach Mike McDaniel on David Long Jr. being named a captain.
Well, he tried to play it cool in front of all of his teammates. I'm convinced that him and a couple of other of his fellow captains probably had an emotional moment behind closed doors. That's just me guessing because, I truly know how much this game means to David Long, how much, and I thought it was a really cool orchestration of a player voted captainship for him to let him know just how much regard his teammates hold for him. So it was a very cool moment to be a part of, something that I think none of his teammates were surprised by, but happy that he was bestowed that honor.
Can't wait to see his hair again on Sunday. Whatever that was, that ultra perm that he had the other day that we showed. Let's play the next cut. Mike McDaniel, head coach of Miami, talking about how he's going to distribute running back touches.
Come on. Play nice. Wow, really?
What are some factors that you'll consider each week as far as running back touches? Obviously, those guys are healthy right now. You have a lot of talent in that room. What are some of the things you think about each week?
Each week, just trying to get individuals opportunities and let those opportunities shape their overall breadth of how many touches they get in the course of a game. I think it's important to make sure that guys have the opportunity to, it doesn't take long for in a game or for you to get a guy a couple carries here, and then the next guy gets a couple carries, and then you feel, okay, well, this dude, it's one of his days. We better lean on this guy and give him more. So I think it's just to get everybody involved is important for me, and then letting the game take its course on whose competitive edge we're going to lean on the most.
All right, and finally, before we go to break, the second Tyreek Hill cut, Angel, on his injury going into the season opener. He has a message for fantasy football players.
I'm fine, man. I'm fine, I just needed some days off, that's it. So I'm fine, man. I'm healthy. All my fantasy draftees, draft people, I'm fine. A-okay, 100%. So I just wanted to troll y'all a little bit.
All right. Take another quick break here, Angel, and get reset a little bit, and then get ready for, if you don't know who Gabe Morency is, Sports Rage, you should know him. He's been with me forever, well, at least well over a decade here on all my shows. So he is one of the best handicappers in the country, fun-loving guy. He will bet on anything. I bet he even has prop bets on the Emmys. We'll get his thoughts on all things college football and the NFL as well, some of his best picks. All part of the Pete Shepard Show as we continue on a Football Freaky Friday here on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
What's up, Southwest Florida? Jim and the Beef Guy here. Fort Myers, we answered your call. We're pumped to announce the opening of our 2nd location. It's on 41 just north of the Edison Mall. And guys, nothing's changed here. The beef, the sausage, the breaded steak, our Maxwell Polish. Now serving you in 2 locations, Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. And don't forget, if you're having a party, check out our catering menu. Hey guys, when you're at the counter, don't call it Gardenia. It's pronounced Jardiniere.
Eye on Tampa Bay is the latest news, weather, and traffic for Pinellas, Pasco, Ellsboro, Hernando, and surrounding communities. Stay connected on X, Facebook, and their website, iontp.com. Eye on Tampa Bay keeps you informed on breaking news as it happens. Southwest Florida's newest game in town. Sports Radio 102.9, the game powered by Eye on Tampa Bay. We'll be right back.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. It's up to you. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go grocery shopping, cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments. Don't you forget about the pharmacy. I know you won't, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. This is your time to show the world, your family, and yourself that you're tougher than tough. Now go out there and be the best caregiver this world has ever seen.
Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Shepherd Show.
All right, back here on the Pete Shepherd Show. Final segment coming up with Sports Rage. Gabe Morency, one of the best handicappers in the world. Unbelievable. My dear friend, and there he is, and looking happy and handsome. Thanks for getting up early in the morning, Gabe. I know you're on the West Coast, still in British Columbia, I believe, or out in Vancouver area. Thanks, Gabe Morency, Sports Rage. You know him, you love him, you can't live without him. He's everywhere. You're all over social media. I turn on different TV stations. There you are. You're everywhere. How you doing, my friend? How are you?
Hey, we're doing good, Pete. It's always a pleasure. I think how we're doing. We're still recovering actually from last weekend in Las Vegas. We were at the LSU USC football game. We were getting all our contest entries in, and I tell you, this week was one of the fastest weeks of my life. I can't believe it was just last weekend that I was roaming around on Fremont Street. And all you need to know about what kind of time I had is, look, it's 6 days later and I'm still recovering.
I saw you. I was living vicariously through you. I thought for sure somehow, some way, you would pull a Connor Stallions and make your way to Ann Arbor this week for the big game with Texas. I thought maybe you might be there.
You know, I can't be at every game. I was at one of the last big ones. I was at the Rose Bowl. Right, we were at the Michigan Alabama game, which in hindsight is pretty crazy. I saw Nick Saban coach his last game at the Rose Bowl. So we were at the Rose Bowl last year. We weren't at the title game, and then we started off the season this year with the Vegas Classic, Kickoff Classic. But I've got a couple of Michigan games on the radar circled this year, but unfortunately, we will not be in Ann Arbor tomorrow. But I tell you what, I think there's been a big overreaction as far as the point spread is concerned, from where it was to where we are now. I mean, let's be real, Pete. I think the best way you can judge a team, especially in college, and when you're playing an inferior opponent, all you can really do is judge by the point spread, right? They were supposed to win by this many points.
Yeah.
That's what they were expected to win by. That's, how much better they are. Michigan were laying 21. They won by 20.
Yeah.
People act like they won by 2. Right? There's a big negativity. They're the most disrespected national champion since Auburn in 2011, lowest ranked national champion. People want to see them fail. Oh, look, they had a hard time with this. They had a hard time with that. They won by 20 points. Fresno State isn't Cupcake U either, right? I mean, they
played tough. They beat Purdue last year in the opening game at Purdue. I mean, that's a tough. I'd rather see Michigan play at Fresno State than some FCS team you're going to beat 68-0. You don't learn anything from that.
Well, they're tougher than Akron. Look, that's who Ohio State played. You know what I mean? It's always about Ohio State. With all that being said, listen, Texas are a really good football team. They also lost a lot as well. Let's not get too impressed by their route last week against Colorado State. Now you got to go to the Big House, a completely different picture. Michigan have won, 23 consecutive home games right now, and they don't need to win the game to win your bet here. So I do think the Wolverines plus the points are a very live dog. It won't be pretty. They're going to hand the football off to Donovan Edwards a million times, but I don't want to sound cliche, but they went pretty vanilla last week against Fresno. Expect them to, show some things that they didn't show last week against the Longhorns. So I think the Wolverines are a live dog, Pete, at that plus 7.5.
I agree. Let's start with some of the action tonight. I'm kind of rooting for Manny Diaz a little bit, not because he coached at the U and didn't do a great job, but I think Duke is a live dog tonight, that plus 2.5. And if you tell me I'm out of my mind, then I won't even touch it. But that was one of my plays. I always give some of my picks before you come on, so it's not like I'm copying everything you do or anything like that. But I don't know. How about the Blue Devils tonight against Northwestern? Do you think it's a live dog? Would you play that game?
I think they're a better football team. Look, you know what? Diaz is one of these guys, been around, one of these good, good coordinators. Then when he's the head coach, you realize maybe he should just be a coordinator, right? Yeah. And now you're at Duke, and they've always had these big offensive minds there at the coaching position. Now it's completely different. Look at his total, guys. This is like an old school New York Giants, Chicago Bear total from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
In
fact, the only lower total I've seen is Iowa State at 35.5.
Yeah, which says something, doesn't it? And look, you know, you look at the stadium that they're playing in right now on the lake. I think at some point weather will be a factor, and it's going to be windy there. You know, not tonight so much. So that total is just so low. It kind of scares me a little bit. I do lean Duke. I like the other game more. The BYU SMU game. Listen, man, SMU aren't that good. Okay, they can spend all the money that they want. SMU are like the rich kid.
Yeah,
that's not really cool, but they're rich, so they're like, "Hey, come over and hang out at my place." That's who they are. They entered this conference without even getting paid. Sure, we won't get paid for 7 or 8 years.
They don't care.
We want to be in that badly. It's like, guys, you couldn't win your other conference. Like, you weren't like some dominant team or anything like that. We saw against Nevada, you know, that the first game I never want to judge too much, but they were late 27. They had a hard time winning the football game outright.
Yep.
All right, you beat Houston Christian. What is that, Joel Osteen's football team? And Joel Osteen has it. He doesn't have money. He can put a team out. So I think, you know, all kidding aside, so you beat Houston Christian, whatever, last week. You routed them. I don't think physically they're big enough to match up against BYU. And I'm not saying that BYU is going to roll them. I mean, they're double-digit underdogs, but I think the number's out of sync here. I think that SMU will be in a fight to win the game. From a physicality standpoint, SMU don't have that. They don't have the girth to push BYU around. But it's interesting. It's a non-conference game here, too. Big 12 versus ACC. But look, over the years, Pete, who's fared well? Who's played a tougher schedule over the years? BYU.
No doubt.
Who's fared better over the years in bigger games? BYU. Who's got bigger, stronger players? BYU. So you got your little pop gun Texas high school offense here with SMU. That really hasn't looked all that good. Preston Stone's a cool name, but he's not some dominant quarterback. You know, to me, they're just sort of, you know, they're not solid enough, like of a football team that, we're going to run the score up. We're going to be so much better than them, or they won't be able to stop us. We're going to run the ball down their throat. And I'll tell you what, the transfer, the quarterback from the quarterback right now coming into this football game for BYU tonight, he was like the junior college player of the year, Pete, at Riverside. He was a junior player of the year. So he's not some kid he was a baller. He went to Pitt. He ends up transferring here. Lit it up last week, 340 plus yards. I know it wasn't against the best competition either. It was at Southern Illinois, but I think this BYU team's going to be able to hang around. I like the over of this game too, Pete. 56 and a half, excuse me. Though there's going to be points. Both teams are going to score tonight.
I love it. Now, when you're handicapping games and stuff, there's always, every week there is a revenge game. Okay, so to me, Nebraska hosting Colorado, in my heart and my head, I want Nebraska to win by about 80. I'm so done with Deion Sanders and that whole thing. And he's always been disrespected. Take the goddamn sunglasses off and look somebody in the eye once in a while. But when he comes down to, this is where head over heart, I want Nebraska to win by 80. Colorado going to be able to put up a fight in this one. Matt Rule, big revenge factor for him after what happened last year, in Colorado. How do you handle this game?
I'm glad you brought it up from that perspective too, because he's the most polarizing coach, like maybe ever. Yeah. I mean, there's been, you got the Urban Meyers and there's the passion of rivalries, and Michigan hates Ryan Day and Ryan Day hates whatever Michigan and all that. This is next level though, because the national media really put him on a pedestal, could do no wrong. He gets that sort of LeBron treatment. Hey, let's cover up stuff that we don't like, and we'll big them up when we like them.
Like going 1-9 down the stretch after starting out 3-0. That's coach.
Yeah.
That's a good coach.
Yeah, the same media types though that gave Travis Hunter the Heisman last week. Right? They played North Dakota State in the first game of the year. Chill out. Yeah, right? I think he's a great player, but chill out. But I was actually thinking about this last night, Pete. And it reminds me of Floyd Mayweather era. And I remember betting on Floyd Mayweather when he was dominant. And I was like, I can't believe he's only a 160 favorite over Ricky Hatton. Can't believe he's only this like a bit of a favorite. And it was because something you just said, people didn't like him. They wanted to see him lose. And first, honest, full disclosure, I was on North Dakota State last week. So I cashed.
I was too.
But you know what, Pete? The dislike of Deion and this whole, Nebraska's going to get him thing. Hey, this is a big game for Iowa. It's a big game for Nebraska. I think the spread's too high, Pete. And like I said, I'll gladly bet against Colorado when they're overhyped. And they were last week. It was the most bet game on the board in America at the sports books. They were overhyped. This week, I think they're a little bit underhyped. I think there's a lot of people out there that want to see them get drilled. So we're sort of betting it up a little. I'm not ready to say Nebraska should be 8 points better than Colorado right now. Listen, one thing we know, guys, Colorado's going to score, right? Like point play. They're going to score, right? They're going to move the ball. They're going to score. Will Nebraska be able to keep up enough to be laying the points? I'm glad you brought it up. It's the old bait and switch. Last week we bet against the Buffs. Now I'll take Dion. I'm on prime time. Where's my sunglasses? I'm on prime time plus the points. If they're laying, I'm playing against them. If I'm getting, I'm interested.
I only have these. I only have my readers.
Yeah, they're not as cool.
I left my other sunglasses. I was at the swamp last week for the first time in my life, and it was amazing.
I heard it was pretty quiet. Cam Ward said it wasn't that quiet.
But it's the hottest event I've ever been to in my life. Hot as in temperature. It was 90,000 people. It was fantastic. But the what other, before we get to the NFL, any other games in college jump out at you? You know what? Tell me I'm wrong. I had this one too. I like Utah State, the Aggies plus 28.5. USC, which won't have a lot of fans at the Coliseum, maybe a couple dozen. I think they're gonna, a mini letdown in this game.
It's the one thing. I trust me. I know the LA market very well, having lived there. Now that the Trojans are winning and they won, they'll be there, right? That's the difference. You know what I mean? They got beaten down a little bit, but there's a lot of enthusiasm. And I'll tell you what, I think the Trojans, they're the real deal. That defensive line looked great. The linebacker play was great. We know about the skill position players. Yeah, that's a good football team, USC. I'm not just saying that. They really are a good team, but it's a lot of points to lay. Notre Dame sort of in that same spot this week.
Yeah, I agree.
Northern Illinois is a very trendy pick. I'm not really going to bite. Let me throw out and follow me on Twitter. And I'll come up with some more obscure games before we kick off. But and I've been focusing so much. I got my contest plays in. We're in the Circus Survivor. $12.5 million for first place now. Biggest contest I've ever been. But with that being stated, dude, I think this Duck team is overrated. Like, I don't think they should be ranked third, like all these high rankings and stuff. It's like, dude, they lost to Washington twice last year. Yeah. The first time Dylan Gabriel wins a big game, will be the first time. Like what? Dan Lanning, guys, like he never wins these close games, and everyone's sort of, and Oregon along with Georgia and Ohio State, and it's like, okay, let's see them get through their schedule, and let's see them cover 20 too many points against a team like Boise.
Yeah.
Boise's defense was obviously a disappointment last week, but we've seen. Listen, in today's day and age, man, it's like college basketball, guys. You're betting college football. You're getting a big dog. You want to ask yourself, if we're down by 24 with 2 minutes left, can they go down the field and score? You can say yes to this about Boise. I think the spread is too high. I think the game goes over the 61, and give me the Boise State Broncos plus the points in that one.
Love it. Let's move on to the NFL. Tonight's game, I would think, even from a professional like yourself, it's got to be a little bit difficult to handicap when you have most of the players who don't want to be there. You can't tweet, or you go to jail or get executed or whatever they do. The field doesn't look all that great, to be honest with you. I don't know what to expect. But, you get into the mindset. The Eagles are favored by 2.5. I think the total is, 48.5. How do you look at a game like this in Brazil, something we've never seen on a Friday night before, with the attitude of these guys that they don't seem like they really want to be there? But it's a big game.
If you'll notice, though, this is sort of like the Ireland trip for Florida State and Boston, and Georgia Tech, or some of these London games, although London is a little bit more normal and normalized. It's a 9.5-hour flight for the Philadelphia Eagles as well out there. So, number one, as you stated, I kind of like the younger teams in spots like this. Like, you'll notice Darius Slay can play. The Eagles can play. The Eagles are the ones losing the game. And I kind of find it ironic that you live in Philadelphia and you play for the Eagles and you're worried about, like, public safety. This whole Brazil thing. It's like Ricky Pearsall got shot in Union Square last week, right?
Yeah.
You can get shot, stabbed, robbed in any city in America or Canada, guys, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, can it happen? Are there carjackings in Brazil? Yeah, there's also carjackings going on right now in Alabama as we speak. Some poor bastard in Florida is getting jacked as we speak. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's be careful. Let's be careful about casting stones, but I'll move on from that. But you notice the Packers were smart. No, we've had a great time here. We love Brazil. People have been great. You know, you buy a little local currency with the fans coming into tonight's football game. Don't wear green going into the stadium. I'll tell you that with the players. But I'll tell you, Pete, when I look at the NFL this weekend, I like teams that played their guys in the preseason. Call me old school and old fashioned. All right. The Philadelphia Eagles have their third offensive coordinator in 3 years. They have their third defensive coordinator in 3 years. Seriously, it's a revolving door.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What better way to work in your new offense by never playing anybody in the preseason at all? But, you know, it's one of those, but don't worry about it. We got this. You know what I mean? Don't, you know, I didn't study for the exam, but don't worry, Dad.
We got Saquon Barkley. He's going to score.
Yeah, we got Saquon. Yeah, I know, because the Giants were amazing with him, right? He put him over the top. And I look at the Packers. Packers have been getting to work. You see Jordan Love out there in Brazil having fun, warming up for this game. They're all smiles, younger football team. Ended the season extremely strong with a bad taste in their mouth. I need to see this new Eagle chemistry. I actually, from what I understand, and I don't pretend that I'm in every locker room or anything like that, but I do know a lot of people that cover the Eagles pretty closely and know guys on the team. This Sirianni Hurts thing, they're not like the best of friends here. There's a reason why they're on their third coordinator, and Brian Johnson was Jalen Hurts' best friend, one of his buddies from Houston. They went his way. Now they sort of said, screw you. Like, we don't care, Jalen Hurts. We're taking over this. You bring in Kellen Moore. Their secondary got shredded last year. I know they're healthier right now, and I like some of the signings and draft. They got the guy with suspended back. They got Gardner Johnson coming in. Darius Slay's badass. I get it. Where I'm going with this, Pete, I like the Packers tonight. I like the Packers plus the 2.5. I'm expecting there to be points. Look at last night. We got to 27 points with those two defenses last night. I think Jordan Love is going to go up and down the field tonight. I like the over 256.5 passing yards for him. But I like the Packers, and I like the game to go over the number. But I'm high on this Packer team, Pete, and everybody. I think Jordan Love is a great MVP pick at 14-1. And I legitimately think that the Green Bay Packers have a very good chance of going to the Super Bowl this year. I think they're going to rack up a bunch of wins. They're going to battle with the Lions and Niners, and they're going to be right there in the mix in the playoffs. I think Jordan Love's the real deal. So I like the Packers plus the 2.5 tonight. And the Eagles will have to prove it to me.
I love it. Now, what about you're a big Buffalo Bills fan? At -6.5, it seems like I feel like they should win the game by double digits. Opening day lines are always tough. I looked at the Patriots last year when they played the Eagles. That was really close down the stretch, and we'll get to that one in a second. But your Buffalo Bills coming in. First of all, how are you feeling about your team this year? Are you thinking about laying the 6.5? It looks like a great teaser play too.
They almost remind me of the Chiefs a little bit last year in the sense that there's a lot of talk about, well, look at they lost this and they don't have that now on offense. And what are they going to do? Dude, Gabriel Davis isn't great, Pete. You know that, right? The guy has a big game, once every 6 weeks or something, and you got to pay for it after. Stephon Diggs isn't the same player he was a couple of years ago. And I'm not just saying that to pile on because he's not on the Bills anymore. He's still okay, but he's going to have to transition into a slot guy, actually. Like, he's like a pitcher that hasn't adapted his game. And he still thinks he can throw 100 miles an hour when you can't. Nico Collins is faster than you. Tank Dell's faster than you now. So he's going to have to adjust. But with that being stated, I think the sky is falling is a little overrated with the Bills. Their win total at 9.5 is light. I got this team winning 11 games. I think 11-6 is sort of kind of realistic with this team. As far as this game, and I'll let you in a little secret, everybody tuning in, I didn't lay the points with the Bills in the contest, but as we talked about, and do I have a great chance of winning the Circus Survivor, guys? With one entry, you're allowed 10 Survivor entries, but they're $1,000 a piece. And I might be good, Pete, and I'm on the air all the time, but I don't get paid enough, and I got to win more. So I got one entry, and I got an entry in a super contest that we've won money in over the years. So I got one entry, and I'll tell you,
you won a lot of money over the years. And
with
$200,000, whatever it was, a few years ago.
Yeah, we're part of a team. I'm up. Yeah, we're up about 77K personally right now. We're playing with their money every year. But
that's awesome.
I think the Bills probably cover. But I like this Arizona team, actually. When Kyler Murray's healthy, I think he's good. I really like Gannon as a coach. They're still kind of thin, but with that being stated, everybody's talking about the Bengals over your Patriots. I'm pulling for the Pats this week. And I tell you what, the Bengals start the season off slow often. And every survivor pool in America and the world, man, the Bengals. Last year in the Circle of Survivor, 70% of everybody was out after week 3. All right? Because everybody has this groupthink tank stuff. So my survivor pick didn't lay the points, but the Buffalo Bills. Yeah. Listen, you can't take the same team twice, obviously, in a survivor. If you look at the Buffalo Bills schedule, every damn week is a toss-up game from here on out, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Thursday night, they're in Miami. They host Jacksonville. They go to Houston. Blah, blah, blah. It's just Kansas City. It's like, they're like Michigan, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or one of these college teams playing a murderous schedule every week, the Bills. The only 2 sort of layups they have, supposedly, are against the Pats in the last 2 of the last 3 weeks of the season.
Yeah, they played twice in a very short period.
Yeah, I can't worry about a survivor pick in week 16, Pete, if I don't survive week 1.
That's right.
So give me the Buffalo Bills in survivor, and I'm just going to kick back and be one of the rare times I'll be cheering for the Patriots on the money line that they knocked the Bengals out and knock like 70% of everybody out of a survivor contest.
Well, that's them. We still don't know if Jamar Chase is going to play. I mean, he's at practice. He's this. Now they won't let people film the players going across the street. Joey Burrow's coming back from the injury.
A lot of question marks.
Yeah, a lot of question marks. But not as I bet you 95% of the public's going to be betting the Bengals and probably laying the 8.5. It's also another great teaser play. You tease the Bills with the Bengals. I'd be shocked if that lost. But like you said,
that's famous last words. Shocked if it lost. How can it lose? That's on tombstones.
How about? I think a live dog this week is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm very high on them. I'm very high that Trevor Lawrence is going to play with a gigantic chip on his shoulder this year, and he also, I believe, is going to be in the MVP conversation when it's all said and done. But Jacksonville plus 3.5 at Miami this week. Big game down here, conference-wise and for state-wise in Florida. But your thoughts on that one?
You know what? I like this Jag team, too. And for the record, let me throw a bet out there for everybody, guys. I love this play. Brian Thomas Jr. over 4.5 receiving touchdowns this year. So it's specific, receiving touchdowns. Yeah. So if he's like Xavier Worthy scored one last night running in, I wouldn't count for the bet. Yeah. And look at the impact that Xavier Worthy had last night. 2 touchdowns first game. I'm telling you right now, guys, Malik Neighbor's a badass. Brian Thomas Jr. might be better. He's every bit as good. Like Brian Thomas Jr., 17 touchdowns last year with LSU, with Jaden Daniels. He was their number 1 deep down the field threat. Like, receptions of 30 yards, 20 yards. It was Brian Thomas. Like, people kind of forget about him. Like, because I don't know why. Oh, Malik Neighbors. Thomas, like, dude, teams were clamoring for Thomas. We're talking about a guy's like, he runs like basically a 4.3.5. He's like 220 pounds. He's like 6'3". Mm-hmm. And Christian Kirk's okay. Gets hurt a lot. Gabriel Davis inconsistent. Evan Ingram's look good with the Jags. I like Ingram, but I'm telling you guys right now, everybody, Brian Thomas Jr. will be the Jaguars' best wide receiver like this year. It won't even be close. By like halfway through the season, you'll be like, damn, this guy's good. And 4.5 touchdown catches. I think we can hit this in the first, 4 to 6 weeks of the season. I'm not kidding. I think he'll score a touchdown on Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. The only thing I don't like messing with this game, Pete, is McDaniel. Miami's slick now. What a sellout.
What is that ultra perm he had? What's that ultra perm he's got?
Well, I wouldn't know. Maybe I'm jealous. I don't know. I used to have hair but it's like, dude, you're like geek boy going into you're Don Johnson now. But they are 13-0. You know a team, though, Pete, I think, and I'll tell you what, I didn't play that game. I'll share some of my contest picks where we're playing for the big money here. So we felt ballsy. We did jump in, and we took the Green Bay Packers plus the 2.5 tonight. But the Dallas Cowboys are another team I want to pick on here.
Yeah.
Another team which, you didn't play your guys in the preseason.
All the drama.
A lot of drama off the field. You're starting 2 basically rookies on the offensive line going into a hostile environment with that defense. And one thing, guys, here's a little handicapping thing to remember moving forward. The Dallas Cowboys are not a great grass team. The Cowboys are built on speed. CeeDee Lamb's built on speed, but specifically defensively. And I know a lot of people tune Jason Garrett out, but Jason Garrett coached the Cowboys, and he's brought it up before, and I was very astute of him. And he said everyone thinks about like the road and offense. He said the Cowboys D line guys and like Parsons and everyone, they feed off of speed, and the grass slows them just all down a little bit. You got to worry about Deshaun Watson, but it's a fair price here. I think Cleveland are going to win this football game. Dallas Dallas will get on track as the year goes, but I don't think they're ready to play like Cleveland are ready to play here. And I like Jaden Daniels a lot, but I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get disrespected.
I
All
agree.
they do is win football games. Baker Mayfield gets laughed at, but whatever, dude. Guy nearly beat Mahomes with the Browns a couple of years ago. Was that funny? I mean, Baker can win football games for you. I think it's Pete because they didn't bring new players in, but Mike Evans is still good. If Godwin's healthy, he's still good. Kate Otton's good.
Defense is really good.
Yeah, they lost White, and from what I hear, Pete, you're in Florida, you're the same thing. It was one of those deals. They're like, the room's kind of better without him. He was kind of like an egomaniac. You know what I mean? We got younger guys now. Yep. Sometimes you got to clear the room out a bit, and that was the case there. Like I said, I like Williams. I like Daniels. I like what Washington are doing. But with that being, I like Quinn and all that. But with that being stated, in the contest, it's 3 points. So to me, they were just getting a little bit disrespected. Another game that I like is the Houston Texans, although the spread is starting to climb. That's sort of the only public sort of
I agree.
Yeah.
I said that it's -3. It seems like it would be a lot of people's best bets. For me, not a best bet, but I love the line because I have no faith in Anthony Richardson. I don't. He's got a lot to prove to me.
Well, you know what I like? I like AR. And you've seen him in Florida, but he's still raw. He's almost a rookie. How many games did he play last year? Like 4 games?
Exactly.
And you saw, we all heard the Bengals saying, asking the Bengal players, asking the Colt players, can he throw the football or what? Are you guys going to run the, you know what I mean? They were talking smack. You guys going to run the ball every down this year? Because he can't throw. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they picked him off when they played. Yeah, he ran some people over for a touchdown and that too. But yeah, to me, and listen, this is contest lines, guys. So the Texans were -2.5. And for anybody in these contests, Pete, we've all been in the pools. I remember the old school. Listen, you're in the Boston area, bro. I'm sure you grew up on the same thing as I did on the East Coast. The old sports bar parlay card, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So it's like, hey, man, it's an extra point here or more. And it's 3.5 instead of 2.5 or whatever. So you got to sort of get the best number in these contests. So I got the Texans -2.5, Buccaneers -3, Browns -2.5. And here's one for everybody on the way out. I thought long and hard. Listen, I like the Bears this year. I'm part of the mark. I think Caleb's going to be great. I think they probably cover, even though it's the road to hell with paving good intentions with rookie quarterbacks playing in week 1. As we all know, 14-1. The last one to win was David Carr in 2002. But with that being stated, you got to go with what you know, right? And I was just in Vegas. I lived in LA. I'm a Michigan fan. This Charger team isn't ready, bro. Think about it, Pete. They lost all their skill position players. They bring in a bunch of old men. J.K. Dobbins, guys had more surgeries than Jenna Jameson had. Gus Edwards, okay. Yeah, I mean, so that's you're hanging your hat on this. You got I get it. Ladd McConkey's good. I get it. So he's your guy because you don't have anyone else. So you got Justin Herbert, and you're kind of going to get it killed. Defensively, they're a little older. You got a new system in here with Minter. And to me, it's, we know there's no home field advantage. And in fact, I know for a fact there's more Raider fans in LA than Charger fans, point blank.
No doubt.
So there's going to be like a Raider feel to this. I think Gardner Minshew and Devontae Adams. Listen, man, you bring Wilkins and you pair him with Crosby. Crosby's a monster, okay? Like the Raider defense is going to get to Herbert a bit here. I think the Raiders are a very live dog, guys, at +3 in this game.
All right, Gabe. Jenna's misunderstood. Let's get that. She's a little misunderstood.
No, I'm a big fan. We speak on Twitter.
Yeah. That's awesome.
She's a little too political for me. Like I like it when we used to tweet about partying and stuff. But
before I let you go, my buddy Angel Martinez, who's in Tampa, but is also from the Philadelphia area. He's a big Eagle guy, and he's kind of been down on the Eagles too. A lot what you said. But Angel, you have any final thoughts for Gabe before we let him go? He's been awesome.
Yeah, Gabe, I'm the same exact way too. I'm not 100% trusted in Nick Sirianni because to me, everything he said so far in the offseason, yet alone here during training camp, I don't need someone who's going to hold my hand and walk me out to the field and tell me it's going to be okay. We're all going to just sit there and love one another because he tends to forget the Philly mentality, just like you brought it up. And if anybody's complaining about the field or anything else or the conditions out there in Brazil, yeah, go to South Philly, go to North Philly. Oh, by the way, go under the L and everybody will figure out exactly what's going on over there. But to me, Nick Sirianni, I have zero, and I mean 0% trust this season in him and what can he do with the organization.
Well, the thing is, like you said, it's almost like he's trying too hard to let everyone know everything's all right, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he remember when his first press conference, he was kind of geeky and awkward.
Oh,
and everyone was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
whoa. But then, they saw, right, this guy can coach and he's all right. I think that the best way of putting it is he doesn't seem to be authentic now.
Right.
He's got like a fake laugh. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Oh, everything like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not authentic, and players can sense that. And blaming the coaches, players like the assistant coaches, right? So always blaming the other coaches and it wasn't me and I trusted them. And now, it sends a message. Now, listen, I'm not saying last year isn't last year. Not to mention, bro, Jason Kelce was like the heart and soul of that offensive line.
Yep.
So now you don't have Kelce there anymore. And I get it. They Sturgis is good and they've thought about this moving forward. But you don't have Kelce there anymore. And you're implementing this new offense right now. Hurts didn't play at all in the preseason. There's just a lot of question marks. I think the Eagles will be fine because the division sucks, right? I mean, it's them and the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But I just think Green Bay are more advanced than they are right now. Let's just whose offense do you trust more tonight? Green Bay or Philadelphia? Tonight, I trust Green Bay's offense more. And let's see if the secondary is much better for the Eagles. They say it's going to be, but let's see it.
All right, Gabe, you're the man. All right, so you're on sport. What else can we plug for you? Anything else you want to plug? Where can everybody find you? I know follow you on Twitter at Sports Rage, and I tweet out a lot of your stuff anyway. But tell our listeners who love you, where to find you.
We're going to be on. We're on Sirius XM channel 159 weeknights at 10 o'clock Eastern. Although with this football season, we're not preempted for football games, but we do special in-game, football shows as opposed to just my show. Follow me on Twitter at Sports Rage, nice and simple. I post all my picks, I post videos, and you see my schedule, my show times, and you go over to sportsgrid.com where to watch and whatever. Like I said, man, we're on Amazon Fire Stick, Roku, Fobu, every other Oku. I think we're on in Pluto, man. We're on everywhere, baby.
Gabe, you're the best. Thanks so much, and hope we can do this again next week because I so miss this, and I finally got to meet you face to face past January at the Super Bowl. It was great. So you're awesome, and we'll talk very soon. Thanks so much.
Hey, may the winners be yours, everybody. Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, Gabe.
Right. Gabe Morency, Sports Rage, and awesome. Just so insightful with his stuff, and he's always head over heart, and really, really gets it. Angel.
Gabe, beyond informative, number one. Number two, he's the most honest person you're probably going to get on the media sports side of the house because there's no holding back. He'll say whatever he wants to, and God bless him because there's so many people that will love to say their opinion without, we're not trying to also butthurt anybody or anything else like that. But just because he brings the facts, and then sometimes it cracks me up where people will just be like, I don't like what he has to say. Well, I don't know why, because he brings it.
He's a great handicapper. He's, nobody wins 100% of the time, but he is really, really good. So I would take the heart. And again, he's so generous giving out picks. A lot of these, he doesn't have an 800 number, a 900 number, or anything like that.
Nope.
He is really well known and respected, and all his stuff is on. He tweets out everything. It may not be early in the morning, but before kickoff, he'll tweet out a whole bunch of stuff for 1 o'clock games, 4 o'clock games. He's really, really good. What we got coming? I know it's late. Joey says, Angel, Have you thought of a goal call? Goal. Yeah, we did mine. I scored earlier today from Lionel Messi. It was great.
Sure
go
did.
Go back and listen. What's coming up today on the network? I know we're running late.
The Drive with Q will be back this afternoon from 3 to 5 p.m. I might have a small delayed start here this morning, as apparently I got a message from someone that apparently didn't like what I had to write. Oh, well, tough shit. But I'll deal with that here in a second.
All right. Well, thanks to Mike Petraz is going to join us either Monday or Tuesday next week. He apologized. He got stuck with the work stuff. Thanks again to Gabriel Morency for joining me, and Mikey Adams earlier. Outstanding stuff. So, Angel, take care of yourself. And we will be back. Enjoy your football starting tonight again and all. Well, it started last night. Enjoy your college football and your NFL. We'll come back on Monday and recap everything. See how my picks went. See how your picks went. And see if Facebook takes the bracelets off for some of us. We shall see. Joey says, take care, fellas. Have a great weekend. Sorry to tune in late. 2 hours behind y'all. That's okay, Joey.
Yep.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Angel, take care of yourself and get 100% healed, hopefully, by Monday. I am Pete. I'll be back on Monday at 7 a.m. Bye.